A new era begins in the desert. The Silver and Black spent the offseason reloading, rebuilding, and refocusing. Stacking talent, setting the tone, and sharpening the edge.
You got to go through a lot to get to this point. Be a part of the dark side. I'm ready to get to work.
New energy, new mentality, same hunger for greatness.
We're going for it. It's got to be competitive. It's got to be up here.
Seattle was once his kingdom. Now Pete Carroll returns. This time, leading the Silver and Black.
Let's go for it. Let's go. Nothing bad.
14 years he's been roaming the sidelines of Lumen Field, including 10 trips to the playoffs and a Super Bowl trophy. But tonight begins Pete Carroll's quest to bring all of that culture to restore the Raiders back to their winning ways. So much excitement about the new pieces brought in on the offensive side, trying to create something explosive and join that group of stars already in place to try and put together one heck of a 2025 campaign. And with that, we say, hey, folks, how are you? Jason Horowitz, 2002 NFL MVP Rich Gannon, the newest member of the Raiders broadcast team, former leading tackler Kirk Morrison. Happy to have him with us here in the booth. Look, coming off a 4-13 year, you expect a lot of change. New head coach who's got all of that experience, new GM in John Spytek, but you also have a new signal caller, and that's where all this starts, in Geno Smith.
And the one thing we do know, Jason, about this business, change is constant, and we've got a lot of change here with the Raiders that I'm excited about. I think it starts with the quarterback. Very few players at that position can come into our league and have immediate success. You have to deal with some adversity. I know I dealt with it early in my career. Geno did as well. I did a lot of the games that he played early on in 2013 with the Jets. He had some struggles. They eventually kicked him to the curb. He spent a year backing up Eli Manning with the Giants before going to the Chargers, backing up Phillip Rivers for a year, and finally landing here in Seattle, backing up Russell Wilson. It really wasn't until 2022 that he finally got the keys to the car, and he's never looked back. He's gone out and he's played with great consistency and production week in and week out. He set career highs last season in completion percentage and yards. He's become a very productive, consistent performer. He brings great toughness to the position, great leadership, and great experience.
And he's going to have Brock Bowers try and get the football, too, coming off of a record-setting rookie year. And Ashton Genty, the 6th overall pick, running back out of Boise State, who we expect to see tonight. Now, there's new pieces on offense, but on defense, yes, Max Crosby's still here, new extension. But the back seven, very different, Kirk.
You know, when you talk about the Raiders defense, it always starts with Max Crosby, but Patrick Graham is back, the defensive coordinator. But when you look at the Raiders defense, the linebacking core, it's not going to be the same this year. Out are Spillane and Diablo. They leave in free agency. So what does Pete Carroll do? They go out and they find some guys who I call tough guys. They bring in a Jermaine Pratt, who I know a lot of Raider fans don't want to talk about because he's the guy that stopped the Raider playoff run when he was with the Bengals, intercepting Derek Carr, but he's a tough guy. Devin White, Super Bowl champion, and 2-time Super Bowl champion Elandon Roberts, but also you bring in Jamal Adams, who convert him from the safety position. Now he's going to play the weak side linebacker. What looked like to be a position of weakness has now turned into a position of greatness with this linebacking core.
And a position with experience, and that's the whole aspect, because the secondary is lacking in a little bit of experience, but that is not the case for the linebacking core. And we expect all of those guys to play at least a little bit tonight, because what is it with Pete Carroll? What has he preached since he got here? Compete.
Competing to me is defined as striving for excellence. It's not about trying to beat somebody and rub their nose in the dirt. That's not it. It's about striving, and it's about in everything that you're doing, you're trying to be the best you can possibly be. And that's the mentality that drives this program. So competition is a central theme in our program, you know, and our guys will hear it, and they'll know where we're coming from about that. You're either competing or you're not.
That's how we got to 170 career wins in the NFL, tied for 17th all-time. And when you watch the local news today, there was a lot of excitement by Seattle fans to welcome Pete Carroll back to the Pacific Northwest. And well, there was once a time, Rich Gannon, where you and Pete Carroll hung out in Minnesota for a while.
I've known Pete a long time. He brings a youthful energy and enthusiasm to coaching. And I just remember as a young player, Coach Carroll coached the secondary in Minnesota, coached for Bud Grant, Jerry Burns. We'd have competition after practice every day trying to hit the crossbar with the quarterbacks. He'd bet money. He competes at everything he does, and I think he brings that competitive spirit to this football team.
Well, the Seahawks won the coin toss. They opened preseason, so we're going to get to see that new look offense on the field right away. And remember the second year of the NFL's dynamic kickoff, a little bit of some twists. Touchbacks will go out to the 35 this year, not the 30. So the NFL is expecting to see a lot more of the kicks landing throughout the whole year in the landing zone. Jason Myers boots it. Zamir White is under it. And the 2025 preseason is underway with the back out of Georgia squirting through out to the 38-yard line with a 35-yard return, as he has looked great in camp carrying the football, which brings us to Geno Smith in his 13th year out of West Virginia. 2 Pro Bowls here in the last 3 years in Seattle, Rich.
Career highs last season. I just think you're talking about a quarterback that's been through a lot. I think that's a positive when you go to build your football team, somebody that has experience. But most importantly, I think that the traits that are most important to me at that position, physical and mental toughness. Geno Smith has all of it.
And we get to see the first-round pick in the backfield with him on the first play. Ashton Genty's out there. They fake it to him, and Geno's eyes are downfield, and he dumps it. Trey Tucker is into Seahawks territory at the 47-yard line. So a nice 15-yard pickup on the first play.
Yeah, but you get him out on the perimeter, let him make a decision. 3 levels to a route. He went from level 1 to level 2 and came back to level 1 for completion. That's what Geno Smith brings you from the quarterback position, Rich.
And great patience. He doesn't rush it. He waits for the receiver. Trey Tucker's able to work back down the stem. Good decision by Geno.
Jordan Meredith playing center. It's been in a battle with Jackson Powers-Johnson. Ashton Genty's first carry, and it's right into the arms of Tyreek Smith, the 4th year out of Ohio State. Ashton Genty, 2,600 yards last year. 2nd best college season by a running back ever, and just too much for Pete Carroll and staff to pass up at number 6.
Well, that's the first time he's been tackled since, what, January? So to get his pads underneath him early on, to feel this physical contact from the NFL game, that's why this game, preseason 1, is huge for Ashton Genty.
And he's not the only rookie on the field to start. Dante Thornton, the 4th-round receiver. Geno's looking that way, throwing for Thornton. Bobbles, brings it in, but he's out of bounds. The back shoulder throw, he tried to use all of his 6'4" arms to bring it in. It'll bring up 3rd down.
Yeah, I love his size. He's got great speed. You're talking about a 4'3" player, a guy that's 6'4", 205 pounds. He's got burst, that extra gear to get over the top. Just got to do a better job anticipating the back shoulder throw.
Yeah, I like what you said there, anticipation. That ball got on him quick. He's got to know that ball's going to be there right now.
On 3rd down and 7, quick throw, and Jacoby Myers dropped it. He had some blockers in front. He also saw Patrick O'Connell, the linebacker, coming down, and it'll be 4th down, and Pete Carroll's team will send out the punt unit.
3rd down on offense was a problem a season ago. They converted just 34% of their 3rd down opportunities. There's a reason teams spend an entire day each week, usually Thursdays, Kirk, installing that 3rd down package.
Yeah, but that's not on Geno. That's on the wide receiver, Jacoby Myers, who, look, I didn't see a drop all of training camp so far.
Well, he didn't have a drop last year.
And this is the first time he's trying to make a big play on 3rd down.
A.J. Cole with his new contract, trying to pin the Seahawks back deep. Torrey Horton makes the fair catch at the 14-yard line on a 35-yard punt, which will send us to a timeout. Raiders starters, Max Crosby, they're coming out on the field. Take on the Seahawks. 90 seconds into this opening preseason game. Raiders had a nice opening play and then stalled on the Seahawks drive on this opening start to the preseason. Well, a lot of new we've talked about and will throughout this entire preseason. Part of that includes our good friend Kirk Morrison, who is new to our Raiders broadcast booth. 3rd-round pick, and my friend, I believe you hit everything in sight for 5 years in Oakland. Is that a fair assessment?
It's a fair assessment. I tried my best every time I was out there on the field, but shedding tackles, shedding blockers, making tackles. Always love putting that uniform on. And I could blitz, by the way, Jason. You see that? Those are blitzes. And I made some sacks, made some plays, but man, great to be with you guys.
You have the same speed. I saw you running up the stairs today, almost the same way as you did back in the
I called a lot of those games. He was a tackling machine. It is a pleasure to have you alongside us, my man.
I appreciate it, Rich. Thank you, my man.
And I will look forward to having you with me all season long on the radio side. And Drew Lock getting the start tonight. A quick throw over the middle. It is caught by Torrey Horton. He is a rookie out of Colorado State. Devin White made the tackle. The Seahawks going with the decision, Kurt, not to play their starters tonight. Pretty much across the board. A couple of offensive linemen. Different Raiders, all their starters playing tonight.
Yeah, nothing changes for this Raiders defense. It's still about attacking. It's about being physical. But it's really about communication today. First time doing this. A loud stadium. Nice environment for this Raider defense to get going.
Mike McDonald in his second year at the helm took over for Pete Carroll. Seattle went 10-7 last year, did not make the playoffs. Pitch out. That is George Holani. Breaks a tackle, and he is out to the 39-yard line with a 19-yard scamper. George Holani out of Boise State. He was the starter when Ashton Jeanty got to Boise State.
Yeah, it's all about, if there's no edge, there's no chance. You get a couple of guys kind of on top of each other. And so what happens, Alani, the running back, he sees, hey, there's nobody on the outside. He's going to take it for the yards that he can get. But this is what I talked about, communication. Everyone has to know where they need to be at. That time's a miscommunication up front.
Jeremy Chin stepped down instead of stepping out, setting the edge.
A lot of competition in that secondary and along the defensive line. Drew Lock with play action. And he's got all day. And he tried to dump in and Oots, the fullback, the rookie out of Alabama with tight coverage. Jermaine Pratt all over the big fullback.
You know, a lot of coaches have a different philosophy in the preseason. We see Seattle not playing their starters tonight, guys. I like the fact that Pete Carroll's come in here and you're trying to set the tone. You're trying to create a culture and an environment. And I think you do that by playing your starters, and really each team develops their own personality. And I think the Raiders are in the midst of being a physical football team on both sides of the ball, and it starts with stopping the run and running the football better offensively.
Can they get after Drew Lock, too? That'll be a big question. They hand off to Holani. Another broken tackle. Out to the 47-yard line. Adam Butler on the bottom of that pile. He got a contract extension after a career 2024. Great season last year. Yeah, third and short.
Devin White just kind of missed a tackle. He gets up the field. He's just got to throttle down a little bit. He probably makes that play in the backfield, but I love the speed, the aggressiveness of these linebackers. Just got to stop your feet a little bit and make the tackle. That could have been a tackle for loss.
And we talked about this at the outset. There's a lot of experience in that linebacking group. But Devin White has had a couple of years. There was some injury, didn't play a whole lot last year. Houston, Philadelphia. It feels like a resurgence he's trying to have with the Raiders. Up the middle, it's a first down. Seattle went right through the middle of that pile, and they are into Raiders territory on a 5-yard pickup.
This is that Raiders NASCAR package defensively, where you got Malcolm Coots rushing from the outside, and a name that we're going to talk about a lot, number 9, Tyree Wilson. He's in there rushing a passer. So will offenses try to run against what the Raiders consider their best pass rushing group?
Kirk, you talked about it. You have a lot of new faces on that side of the ball, and they have not played together, and communication is so important. And so that's why these reps with the starters in the preseason are critically important. They have to develop some chemistry together.
Drew Lock with some pressure. He's got Oots out of the backfield, rumbling into the 30-yard line. And he's brought down by the rookie, Darian Porter. 6'2", long, third-round corner out of Iowa State who just took the brunt of the fullback.
Well, they said that Darian Porter's not going to come up and tackle. He came up and made the play. But Oots just comes out of the backfield. He's kind of hid behind a couple of offensive linemen, came out late, and nobody from the Raiders defense picked him up.
Darian Porter out of Iowa State. Long, lengthy, had a great final season. Didn't play a ton early in his career other than special teams, but he has been battling for that starting corner spot all camp. Drew Lock with a shot and nobody home. Miscommunication with the rookie Torrey Horton. Eric Stokes out there. And Stokes and Porter, yes, with DeCamerion Richardson, have been the 3 corners who have been competing for those starting roles. And it's part of the reason they traded Ja'Cory Bennett to Philadelphia this week.
And they're all, 6'1", 6'2", tall, lengthy outside corners, just like Pete Carroll likes. They are the guys who can sit back in that zone, but they're able to break up on the ball. That could have been an interception as well for Stokes.
Stokes, former first-round pick out of Georgia with the Packers. Lock, quick throw, way out in front of his intended receiver. Derek Young couldn't get his hands on it, and so it'll be third down. Now check that, Cody White, the intended receiver.
Guys, we went back and watched all the cut-ups from a year ago defensively, and you think about this defense, they need to be better situationally. Kirk, you know this third down, red zone, 2-minute. Red zone's been an issue the last couple seasons, even red zone fringe. But third down, is a big down in the NFL. You have to find a way to get off the field.
Yeah, I'm keeping my eye on Malcolm Kuntz here, 51. Back from injury, see if he can get a couple nice rushes while he's in there.
Rock firing, and it's picked off. Isaiah Polamalu stepped in front of the receiver and picked it off at the 10-yard line.
This is why he got the extension. Just watch Polamalu at the top of the screen. He's reading Drew Lock the entire time and cuts right in front of that play, in front of Torrey Horton on the rookie. An outstanding job extending, making the play. Polamalu with the wow to start this drive for the Raider defense.
Isaiah Polamalu started most of last year with the injury to Marcus Epps. Got a contract extension and preseason pick #1.
Yeah, he read this one all the way. And if you let that ball hang up there, Polamalu with the extension cutting in front. It's all about the ball, is what Patrick Graham preached to us all throughout training camp. And the Raiders get a takeaway.
Well, we wondered how many plays Geno Smith and the starters would get. The answer is 5. Aiden O'Connell now into the ballgame. Throw into the rookie Jack Bech. He bobbled it, but he did make the catch in front of the corner, Josh Jobe. Dante Thornton has gotten so much conversation, but Jack Bech, the second rounder out of TCU, and Aiden O'Connell now settles in his 3rd year as a quarterback at the Raiders.
Yeah, led TCU with 62 receptions, 1,000 yards, and 9 touchdowns. Really played well in the Senior Bowl. Was the MVP in that game. Very dependable, consistent, physical guy that will compete after the catch.
Ashton Jeanty still in the backfield. He had 1 carry on the opening drive, went for 3 yards. He spins away from one and cannot spin away from the rest of the wall. Now that's what he did so well in college, but Mike Morris, the 2nd or 3rd guy that were able to bring him down, he was able to break those for long runs in college. Now is how explosive can he be in the NFL?
Yeah, it's the ability to feel that. I mean, that's a free linebacker who comes through. So as much as we're going to look at Jeanty and him trying to make plays, this is the same offensive line group, the first-string offensive line. They've got to make that block to allow him to have the opportunity to cut it back. He didn't have any chance on that one.
And the left side has the rookie Caleb Rogers now in at left guard. And Thayer Munford in his 4th year, he's in at left tackle. So some of the starters still out there, but it is a mix of the first and the second. There's a flag, Aiden to throw on 3rd down. Michael Mayer needs the 19. He's got the 1st down out across the 20. But we wait to see what the penalty was at the snap. It is a pickup of 11 if it holds.
Illegal formation. Offense number 18. Five-yard penalty. Replay. 3rd down.
Got the rookie Jack Bech.
And this was something that Chip Kelly talked to us about last night. This is what he wanted to see. The operation of his offense with this crowd noise. So you get Bech, who's in the slot, and he's got to stay set, but I think they don't have enough on the line of scrimmage, and that's where you get the illegal.
Yeah, too many men in the backfield, yep. So Bech and Bachman out to the bottom of your screen for Aiden O'Connell, who's got Jeanty in the backfield. 3rd down and 14 for the Raiders, backed up at the 5. O'Connell with plenty of time. And an open man, 1st down. Dante Thornton Jr. snatched that out of the air. They pick up 18 yards.
Protection, 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 Rich.
I love it.
It looked like you back there all that time that Aiden O'Connell had to deliver where he knew that ball had to be. And a nice job by Thornton getting behind the yard marker, the yardage that you needed for a 1st down.
I just love longer receivers, guys that have, you know, the long arms, the long levers, and a guy that can make a catch on the boundary. But it's a guy that's had a terrific training camp so far.
And he has been playing with the starters in camp for most of July and August. They go his way again, and it's over his head, too tall. Mickey Manwari was out there. There is a flag down on the Raiders sideline right in front of Pete Carroll.
The defensive pass interference. Yeah, this Dante Thornton, two seasons at Oregon before transferring to Tennessee. Talked about his size.
Typical use of hands to the face. Defense number 29. 5-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
Just a 1-year starter when you really look at his body of work in college, but a guy that needs reps and experience. But as you guys know, he's done a terrific job competing in training camp, going up against some veteran corners. He's one of the young players that has really stood out so far.
Yeah, it's just been an evolution for him. Like, you start off early on, no pads, but he's been able to make catches, make big plays. You can see practice by practice, he keeps getting better and better.
He is 6'5". He led college football last year at over 25 yards per catch at Tennessee. Genty trying to pick his way. Another flag is down, and he's chased down from behind. The rookie Nick Emanwari, an early second-round pick out of South Carolina. Another flag right down at the line of scrimmage.
It's going to be on the Raiders. You know, there's so much emphasis on this young back, and you know, I think, guys, we can't overlook the fact we've got to be better up front. You know, you want to run the football, you got to play better with that group up front. Too many different offensive line combinations the last few seasons, and they need some continuity and consistency.
Offense number 10. That penalty is declined. Brings up second down.
They declined the offsides on Dante Thornton because the result of the play was a loss of 1 or no gain, so it'll be second down. But to your point, I mean, the Raiders last year dead last in the NFL in running the football, less than 76 yards a game. It was a struggle all season.
There's no question. The talent and the depth of the running back position was a real priority this season. They just got to be better up front as well.
And here's part of the depth. Raheem Mostert is now in the backfield for the first time with Aiden O'Connell. Who steps up, he feels the pressure.
Get rid of it.
And he does get rid of it, but I don't know that he left the pocket, and I don't know that that ball got past the line of scrimmage.
I don't like the finish by Mike Morris, who was up there around the helmet area of Aiden O'Connell on that finish. I think that's what the officials are talking about. Did that ball get back to the line of scrimmage in terms of the throw by Aiden O'Connell?
Well, he clearly, the question, he might have left the pocket at one point, but they're still having a conversation. The play clock is running, but 4 of the officials are talking to each other at the 18-yard line. We have had flags on 3 consecutive plays, and we're about to have flag on play number 4.
I don't know that. Yeah, there it is.
Intentional grounding. Offense number 12. The 10-yard penalty for the spot plus a loss of down brings up third down.
And he's on the hash mark when he throws the football. So 3rd and 20.
He'll be smart here. You just can't have a negative play.
It is a run to Mostert. Lower in the shoulder, carrying defenders. He's back to the original line of scrimmage, maybe an extra yard. He picks up 11. And that will send on A.J. Cole for the second time to punt away here in this opening quarter.
What a sloppy possession. Too many penalties.
It's just operation. And the penalties have stalled the drive for the Raiders.
But I like Raheem Mostert.
Yeah, you like that finish.
I'm telling you, he's a terrific back with a lot of experience and some unusual, I would say some unusual straight line speed, Kirk.
Yeah, it's called competition for that backup running back spot behind Ashton Genty.
21 touchdowns 2 years ago for Raheem Mostert in Miami, led the NFL. Jake Cole trying to move Horton and pin it, and he knocks it at the 20, but he's got some space. The rookie spins away, and he's out to the 25 on a 5-yard return after a punt of 52 by A.J. Cole. Amari Gaynor now to make the tackle on special teams. No score midway first quarter. Place Market, a spot where Rich Gannon often frequents to throw a bunch of fish. No?
No.
I don't see you as a guy who was a longshoreman at any point. Is that accurate?
That's probably pretty accurate.
Pete Carroll, 14 years here in Seattle, winning his coach in Seahawks history after his run of 9 years at USC. And in that run, 8 straight years where he had USC competing for national championships. And he brings all of that to the Raiders as George Halani gets wrapped up by Tyree Wilson with another flag down. This one thrown from the secondary right at the snap.
And you mentioned it, Jason. It's thrown from the secondary from that official, that back judge, usually in the line of defensive holding.
The Raiders are walking back.
Holding. Defense number 96. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
That is Jonah Laulu in his second year out of Oklahoma. He came to the Raiders after cutdowns from the Colts last year, and he had a pretty successful second half of the season, but called for holding.
Take a look in the middle of the screen. A lot of people say, well, how is there defensive holding? What Jonah Laulu is trying to do is not allow the offensive guard to get up to the second level on the linebackers. So you try to keep the hands inside, but when you extend the hand, the official sees that and they throw the flag.
So an automatic first down, and Holani gets another carry. Tommy Eichenberg, second-year linebacker out of Ohio State. He's had a good camp, comes up to make the tackle.
Yeah, tremendous camp. Eichenberg and also Jamal Adams in at linebacker as well. So these are two guys trying to fight for a spot in this linebacking core. We've already seen the first three guys in Pratt, White, Landon Roberts, but see what Eichenberg can do here, making a play already.
Eichenberg played 14 games last year as a rookie, pretty much exclusively on special teams. Lock still in at quarterback. Quick drop, scans, fires, caught Jake Bobo. Eichenberg with the tackle, but not before Bobo has the first down out to the 13 and a 10-yard gain. That's a brand new receiving core here in Seattle, too. It's not just Geno Smith that's with the Raiders, but DK Metcalf is now in Pittsburgh. Tyler Lockett now with the Tennessee Titans. So it's Jackson Smith and Jigba and the rest of company.
Yeah, Cooper Kupp comes on board, and Marquez Valdez-Scantling. It's a different group here in Seattle as well, as you point out, Jason. Change is constant in this business.
Certainly a facelift for the Seahawks offense here in 2025. Locke, again, he is at all kinds of time. And Horton is out of bounds.
Good coverage.
Eric Stokes all over the rookie. So yes, not any pressure up front, but solid coverage on the back end.
And tremendous coverage in the back end. We talked about Stokes at the end, but Darian Porter, the rookie, he's on the opposite side. He didn't have any work. But watch at the end, we're looking at Stokes, and they're doing a great job of covering, but Porter came off of his guy, and he's the one that forced the throw from Drew Lock. So outstanding job of communication in that back end by the Raiders secondary.
Stokes getting a long look at a great opportunity. Signed a one-year contract with the Raiders. Damian Martinez, the rookie out of Miami, gets his first carry. Another flag thrown from the secondary. Stokes again on the tackle. Laulu there as well.
You gotta be kidding me. Defensive holding again on a running play. It's coming from the back, Judge.
And you can read Pete Carroll's lips. He said exactly what you just said.
Defense, number 96. The 5-yard penalty from the end of the run. First down.
I didn't get the number.
It was Laulu again.
You got to be kidding me.
Yeah, these are things that, look, you probably get away with at practice because you don't have officials usually at practice. But you get in here, and this may be a point of emphasis from the back judge. Defensive linemen holding on to offensive linemen and not allowing them to get to the second level.
I thought the first one was a bad call. I mean, it's got to be blatant. You got to grab a hold of a jersey.
So a fresh set of downs for Drew Lock. Jamal Adams giving chase, trying to come up with the sack. Lock escapes and gets out of bounds. But, you know, Jamal Adams, a Pro Bowl All-Pro safety, but when he was at his best, whether in New York with the Jets or in Seattle, he was racing after quarterbacks with sacks.
Well, he can play at all three levels of a defense. I mean, he's got great range, experience, but I think where he's most comfortable, Kirk, and you can speak to this, is down around the line of scrimmage where he can be a blitzer.
There's not many guys in the NFL, you feel their presence on the field. I feel his presence. You know when Jamal Adams is on the field because you hear the pads popping, and he's giving all-out effort.
In his 9th year out of LSU, 5 games last season between the Titans and the Lions after his time in Seattle. Olani another carry, and there is Jamal Adams. He is making his presence felt in a big way. And look, he comes to Las Vegas right at the beginning of training camp. They say, we've got something in mind on how we're going to use him. It's different. And that's what they're starting to look for.
He's a piece of the puzzle. He's going to utilize his speed. He's downhill. He gets from point A to point B like no other in the National Football League. And I told you, when he gets there, he's going to let you know. He's going to finish. As he looks at the sideline, let him know, I still got it.
Well, he brings toughness and experience, and he brings some energy to the mix, which I love.
On 3rd down and 6, they need the Raiders 37. They bring a blitz. Lock stands in the pocket, completes over the middle. That is the rookie tight end, Elijah Arroyo, the 2nd-round pick out of Miami. He picks up 10, and it's a first down.
Yeah, Arroyo Played with Cam Ward last year over at the University of Miami. One of Cam Ward's favorite targets, but you want to see Polamalu get up there just a little bit earlier. Tried to hold that disguise just a little bit too long. When it's third down, sometimes you got to move away from the disguise and go make a play right before that first down marker.
Now the Seahawks so far here in this opening quarter, 89 yards of offense. Their opening drive ended in an interception by Isaiah Polamalu. It's a run to Holani, getting a lot of work here in the first quarter. He tripped, and Jamal Adams has another tackle.
Jamal Adams, he's going to be the big nickel, the will linebacker. Obviously, having him played more down around the line of scrimmage where he's most comfortable, but he's always had a knack for the ball, and he's a really good pass rusher. A lot of sacks when he's with the Seahawks.
You never have to tell him to go sick him, right?
No.
Rich, he's going to be around the football at all times, but I love the intensity that he brings to this defense.
Got good awareness. Recognizes personnel groupings and formations.
Almost broken up. Instead, it's a beautiful catch. Eric Saubert, the backup tight end. He stepped right in front of Matt Jones, the undrafted rookie out of Baylor. They picked up 9.
He's got to make some plays. And Matt Jones, he sees it, but he's got his eyes on the quarterback. Go get on Saubert. Get down. Almost knocked that ball out. But this is, remember, his first time, one of these young rookies getting out there, first time playing, realizing, hey, what you can do, what you can get away with. A better angle probably knocks that ball out.
Matt Jones, 62 games at Baylor, started 46 times. Saubert was just short of the first down, so it is third down and 1 for Seattle. And it's a run for Holani and a whole lot of space to the outside. Does he have the pylon? No. Knocked out of bounds by Polamalu to save a touchdown, but not before he picked up 21.
Hey, but these are learning experiences. This is a learning experience for Darian Porter, the rookie corner on the right side. I want you to watch the right side of the screen. Porter's got to come up right now. He comes a little too late, and that poor angle is how Holani gets to the outside. Darian Porter will realize, I got to give myself a better angle for the tackle. If he's got a better angle, he's coming more with a sharp inside out, but because he went outside in, that's where the missed tackle happened.
That's 2 runs now in the first quarter where we have not set the edge. And runs have been able to bounce to the outside.
Yeah, and Mike McDonald has thrown the challenge flag. He thinks that George Holani is in the end zone. Now, there are a lot of things this year that replay assist are going to help to speed up. This is not one of those.
Seattle is challenging the rule in the field that the runner was out of bounds before the goal line.
George Holani, we'll see what this stands for in terms of it's a touchdown or not, but he has run all over the Raiders here in the opening quarter to the tune of 60 yards for Seattle. Now, during the timeout, Clete Blakeman did overturn the call on the field. He said George Holani did reach the ball across the plane, and it is a Seattle touchdown here with 39 seconds left in the first quarter.
Great effort by George Holani there.
And look who he runs into. What is that? Marshawn Lynch taking pictures down there.
The photographer, Marshawn Lynch.
I saw him in the elevator coming over here. And talk about a guy looks like he could still tote the rock a little bit.
Talk about versatility, right?
He's a classic. They'll make him like Marshawn.
So Jason Myers on to add the extra point. Two-time Pro Bowl kicker that Seattle has. He's in his 11th year, and it's 7-0 Seahawks with 39 seconds to go. So Marshawn Lynch, he knows a thing or two about rumbling in this stadium.
Oh, yeah.
He knows a thing or two about the silver and black. He combines all those things right here.
One of the toughest tackles I ever had to make is Marshawn Lynch. You know he had the ability to make you miss, but he also had the power to run you over. So you never know what you're going to get, Rich. It was like, I don't know if he's going to run me over. Is he going to make me miss? And then all of a sudden he would catch the ball out of the backfield and take it, 30, 40 yards.
He had sneaky straight line speed, but he had unbelievable balance and power. You think about Ashton Genty with contact balance. This guy was a hard tackle, and I think that's what Ashton Genty's going to be as well. Not as big as Marshawn, but man, he's got great vision and great explosiveness at the line of scrimmage.
Now, starting the season, join us the day before Raiders home games for Countdown to Kickoff, an ultra-exclusive tour showcasing Allegiant Stadium as we get ready to host 65,000 fans for an NFL game day. Don't miss the unique opportunity to experience the home of the Raiders like never before. For tickets and more info, visit AllegiantStadium.com/tours. Jason Myers kickoff. It is in the end zone. It did not bounce first, and there is a touchback. So because of the new rule, remember this year, the second of the dynamic kickoff, that ball will come out to the 35-yard line for Aiden O'Connell.
Yeah, you're not going to see a lot of that this season. I'm just telling you, these kickers are too good.
Now the new rules again, remember the dynamic kickoff last year, there were more explosive plays. They got what they wanted in that regard. This year, receiving team, you don't have to have 9 across that front wall. You can have a third member back, not just 2. But the other part is the onside kick.
Yes.
You can onside kick now like before, anytime in the game, as long as you are the trailing football team.
Just think about how the rules have changed. The touchback used to be to the 20, now it's to the 35-yard line. That is a big difference for the offense.
Zamir White gets his first carry of the preseason, and Quinton Bohanna, his 5th year out of Kentucky, former Cowboys 6th-round pick. Zamir White's been getting a lot of credit. Pete Carroll, Chip Kelly, they've talked about how much they love just how hard he runs, how much power he's got, and a different change of pace.
Well, I think last year he bulked up too much. He looked like Adonis. He was one of those bigger running backs because he felt like he had to carry the load. Lost a little bit of weight this year. Muscle tone came down just a little bit and shows more elusiveness so far in training camp.
Final play of the first quarter with 2. We'll see if Aiden O'Connell gets the snap off, and he does not. So that will bring us to the end of the first quarter. Some struggles for the Raiders here in Seattle. 7-0 Seattle. Preseason's underway, and you're watching Las Vegas Raiders football.
Third down and 6 at the 9. And Bo Jackson to the 20 and out in front, and only one man to beat, and easily can't run him down. He had the angle, but there goes Bo, and nobody catches Bo. Touchdown.
He may not stop till Tacoma. He's gone.
Portland.
He just went by Spokane.
There go the Raiders into final. What a scene.
Come on back,
He did eventually come back. Tonight's thrilling moment brought to you by Yamava. When it comes to world-class hospitality and entertainment, one name stands above the rest. Yamava Resort and Casino at San Manuel, voted #1 casino outside of Vegas by Newsweek. That was Bo's 25th birthday, November 30th, and he had those 221 rushing yards. The Raiders in the Kingdome. That game when they were division rivals with the Seahawks. Aiden O'Connell trying to get this drive going, taking a shot. He's got Thornton on, underthrown, and it's picked off. Josh Jobe with the interception for Seattle, and he returns it all the way back to the 48-yard line.
A bad decision. Bad decision and a bad throw by Aiden O'Connell.
Look, Dante Thornton had a step on it.
Yeah,
but you've got to throw that ball.
You got to make this throw.
Just a nice route.
Yeah, he goes right by him, and he's got plenty of separation now. You can't underthrow a receiver when you have him that wide open. Aiden O'Connell moving to his left. Just never got enough on that throw.
Yeah, he knows he's got to step into that throw. We saw earlier in the week at practice, Geno Smith overthrew Dante Thornton.
Yeah, the miss there is the overthrow, not the underthrow.
Players from the bench leading the celebration. It's a 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. First down, Seattle.
So unsportsmanlike players from the Seahawks leaving the bench, so they'll mark that off 10 yards.
Well, you like the excitement, but you got to know better than this.
Well, you got too many guys in street clothes.
You've got all their starters over there.
Well, you got guys in street clothes coming out there to celebrate. I get it. You're excited. But if you're not playing, you can stay on the sideline.
You know what it is? It's these defensive players. They're not used to touching the ball. When they touch the ball, they lose their mind, bro.
Well, everybody wants to take a picture now, Rich. That's why. Everybody wants to take a picture.
You can't
it's
say.
All about picture
hold on
time.
a second. You were live streaming everything in the booth. What do you mean everybody else wants to take a picture? Drew Lock still in the game. He led a touchdown drive on the Seahawks' last possession, and he dumps it out. And look who's chasing him down. It's a guy who got to Las Vegas 48 hours ago. Thomas Booker the fourth. First time he's put on a Raiders uniform, practice or a game, and he's making a play. He was the one they got back in the trade for Jacorian Bennett earlier this week.
Yeah, and look, that's what happens. You get traded on Tuesday. They put your stuff in a box with the Eagles. They send it to Las Vegas, and guess what? You got to go out there and play. And he told Pete Carroll, I'm going to play. I don't care if I don't know the defense or not. I just want to go out there and play, show what I can do, and already making an impact.
Former fifth-round pick of the Texans. Impact winning a Super Bowl last year for the Eagles. Tyree Wilson in the backfield. And he spins down the ball carrier for no gain.
Man, how many times have we seen that so far in training camp, Rich? Tyree Wilson, number 9, knifing in there to make the play. We just want to see the consistency, right? Not in just the run game, but in the passing game as well, rushing the passer. We know the ability of Tyree Wilson, but can he put it all together in year number 3?
Yeah, he just needs to continue to develop and improve his pass rush plan. And he's more power than speed. He can get into the offensive lineman and push it back to the quarterback. We need to see some explosiveness from Tyree off the edge.
Third down and 10.
The man.
Fox still has a clean pocket, and he's got a completion. Torrey Horton makes the grab to Cameron Richardson in coverage. Another flag. And the pass interference looks like against the Raiders. Well, you know, part of the reason the Raiders felt comfortable trading Jacorian Bennett earlier this week.
Defense number 35. Penalties decline. First down.
First down after a 13-yard pickup. But part of that reason, how much they've liked the improvement from year 1 to year 2 of DeCamerion Richardson.
Yeah, and you see it right here. He's just a guy making a play.
Grabs the face mask.
But remember, when you're that far out, you can't touch a guy too, right? Being able to be in the right position to go and make the play, couldn't do it.
Go right back after him.
Torrey Horton third behind him. Drew Lock now 6 of 13, 77 yards. He's also thrown an interception. But again, all that fits the bill, right? DeCamerion Richardson, 6'2", 195. Eric Stokes, 6'1", 195. Darian Porter, 6'2", 200. Long, lengthy. It's exactly what Pete Carroll built when they won the Super Bowl here in Seattle.
And they're still preaching competition, right? The competition at cornerback. Who's going to be your starting 3? I say starting 3 because when they bring out 11 personnel, you're going to need your best 3 corners, and Richardson is trying to show he's going to be that guy.
Bad snap. Drew Lock doesn't fall on the football. And the Seahawks finally recover it all the way back at the 27-yard line. On the bottom of that pile, Amari Kite, the backup tackle there to save a turnover on a loss of 18.
A little bit of a curveball. Third and a mile.
Need to get to Kirkland for the first down. Damian Martinez tripped up in the backfield. Jamal Adams, so far the best player for this Raiders defense here in this opening half.
Oh, man, you got to love Jamal Adams. He's called, when you see space, you go run space. And that's what Jamal Adams does there. He knows what the play it is. This is that veteran leadership that you talk about, Rich.
You know, I wish our telestrator was working for those listening at home. I mean, there's so many great plays that we're seeing from Jamal Adams. You know, just instinctive. He's down around the line of scrimmage. He recognizes the situation.
He knows what's going on.
He's thinking screen or draw.
That's it.
Alex Bachman back deep to receive the punt from Michael Dixon.
Good hang time.
And he calls for the fair catch, and he makes it at the 25-yard line. 50 on the punt, nothing on the return. Raiders offense trying to get things going when we come back. The alumni will be in town. Raiders 49ers next Saturday afternoon. Jamal Adams has made a ton of plays here in this opening half. 3 tackles, a couple in the backfield.
He's just showing off right now, showing you what he can do, and just think about the versatility that Jamal Adams is showing for this Raiders defense. He's going to be able to show he can blitz off the edge, he can play in the box. You may even see him line up at safety as well for
from play to play. He can play different positions. If I'm Patrick Graham, I've got an X factor now defensively that I can use throughout the season.
Yeah, he's got a nose for the ball. Very instinctive player. A guy that recognizes situational football, formation, splits, tendencies.
But he's physical, man.
Love him.
His only question is staying healthy.
Correct.
2021, 2022, both cut short with injuries here in Seattle. Missed a bunch of games in 2023 as well. But if he is healthy, there's no question that is a dynamic piece to this Raiders defense. Aiden O'Connell trying to bounce back from the interception. Open man, Ian Thomas over the middle. The former Carolina Panther into Seahawks territory. That is a nice strike and a pickup of 27.
Nice job by Aiden O'Connell working through the progression. He starts out to his left and is able to come all the way back to the right and find the tight end Thomas working across the field.
Take me through that, Rich. Because as a linebacker, I think he took me out of that window and he threw it back to Ian Thomas. He threw that blind knowing that Thomas has to be there.
Yeah, he knew exactly where he was going to be on the backside.
Sincere McCormick squirts through the hole. Picks up 3 or 4. Remember, Sincere McCormick last year finally got an opportunity in November and ran really well against Tampa. A couple of games. He had a good game against Kansas City, and then he had another injury, so he hasn't really been able to stay healthy. Hoping to make this team with Ashton Genty, Raheem Mostert as well. Is Mostert, who's now in the backfield with O'Connell. Good protection. He steps up down the middle. Alex Bachman inside the red zone. He ran right down the seam, and Bachman takes it to the 11-yard line.
You know why that happens? Because Bachman realized that he told O'Connell, hey, look, they're going to blitz. That means the safety's going to have to come over the top. And he basically could have put his hand up. He knew he was going to be open in that blitz, and Aiden O'Connell hit him right through the seam.
Yeah, really good throw here. Just working the inside seam, holding the safety with his eyes.
That's great play recognition, seeing the blitz before it happened, and then executing on the play.
That's 33 yards. 1st and 10. Trying to bounce around, and this one he dumps into the bench, and this one he did get it past the line of scrimmage. Flagged for intentional grounding in the first quarter.
You know, Aiden O'Connell's an interesting guy. He's experienced a lot of change his first 2 seasons. Now with his 3rd different head coach, 5th different play caller. That's insane. It's not no way to develop a young quarterback. Went 5-5 as a rookie with wins over the Chiefs, Chargers, and Broncos. He's shown some flashes. He just needs to smooth out some of the rough edges, and he needs to stay healthy. Every time he's gotten the opportunity to play, he's gotten dinged.
He was 4 for 7 for 80 yards and a pick. Zamir White trying to find some room, lowers the shoulder, and picked up a couple of extra yards. Brandon Peely finished off the tackle. The defensive lineman for Seattle. It'll be 3rd down and long.
I love this opportunity because we always look at the preseason games of room of improvement, but this is the red zone, Rich, and this is where the Raiders have to be better offensively is red zone scores, getting touchdowns.
27th last year in touchdowns.
And if he can get a handful of yards here, this may be 4-down territory in the preseason.
Well, maybe preseason, but this crowd is loud. O'Connell trying to get to Bachman, and it's over his outstretched arms.
Oh, you got to kick it now.
Patrick O'Connell, the linebacker, was covering. And they are going to send out Daniel Carlson to try and tack on a field goal.
Yeah, I think sometimes you may have to convert that one. If you got the linebacker on you, you may want to just kind of lob it out there. Let Bachman run underneath that one. Trying to put a heater on him, Rich, you got to be accurate with that football. Let him run underneath that one.
With the red zone production, it's been a challenge.
Yep. So Daniel Carlson spotting a new jersey number this year. He gave number 2 to Ashton Genty. He has taken over number 8, and he's good from 27. And so the Raiders take advantage of a couple of nice throws. One to Ian Thomas, one to Alex Bachman. They're on the board for the first time in the preseason. 9:22 to go. Geno Smith got the first drive. He got 5 plays. Aiden O'Connell has come in and bounced back from the interception thrown to lead a field goal drive. Season's first kickoff here in 2025, and Holani saw it go past the goal line. He takes a knee. And so out to the 35. So we've seen 3 kickoffs so far in the first half. 2 of them have been touchbacks out to the 35, but neither of you guys think we're going to see a lot of that in the regular season.
No, you know what? Listen, why wouldn't you take a touchback? I mean, the 35-yard line, your percentages of coming away with points as opposed to starting at the 20 to 25 is significantly higher. These kickers, I'm telling you, they're working through the changes as well. They've got to, you know, they're going to have to learn to kick the ball inside the 5-yard line, put some air on it. And that's gonna change here in the coming weeks.
Drew Lock has been the Seahawks quarterback right from the get-go, and it was batted at the line. Matt Jones got in there and got his hands on it.
It's tough on the quarterback when you don't block the the end man on the line of scrimmage. Someone's got to get their hands. Someone's got to go out and fire out and get his hands down.
Yeah, that's just a blitz too, and the recognition of getting that hand up too. Being able to come off the edge, recognize and see quarterback, get the hand up. It's a nice play by Jones.
He's not a guy that was talked a lot about, undrafted free agent out of Baylor, but he has certainly made an impression in camp. Block to throw again. Again, it's batted down at the line. Tonka Hemingway got his hands on it, the rookie out of South Carolina, the 4th-round pick.
And he's one of those guys that's going to be in the rotation. We all know Christian Wilkins no longer on his team. Adam Butler is your guy in the inside, but it's going to be a rotation of players opposite Adam Butler and Tonka Hemingway, putting his name in the hat for some of those reps.
Tonka Hemingway, 4th-round pick, 4 years, South Carolina. 61 games played for the Gamecocks. That is the most in South Carolina history. So it's 3rd down very quickly. They set up the screen. Matt Jones got his hand. Holani got away. First down, and Holani, the screen, into Raiders territory, and another pickup of 22.
And it's just play recognition. 3rd and 10. You got to know, hey, they're going to probably run a screen, so you've got to be able to retreat. And there's nobody there. There's 3 blockers, but if you're Matt Jones, you got to make that play. He's one-on-one. You've got to make that play, or at least turn it back into your guys. If you miss the tackle, it's a 1st down, but he was right there to make the play.
Hey, Boise State has got to develop some running backs.
Think about it. That's a backfield of George Holani and Ashton Genty. Think about that, Rich, back at Boise State.
A lot of missed tackles.
Locke avoids the sack. He's got a wide open man racing into the secondary. Jones makes the tackle, but it is a long gain for Derek Young. 31 more for Seattle.
It's the play action, and then you've got to turn and go. Matt Jones, that's the 3rd guy through. It's always a difficult one for that zone player on the backside because you're coming off of the play action, and you don't see that the receiver is dragging all the way across. You got to change your zone up on that one, and Matt Jones on the backside has got to be there.
Damian Martinez, the tailback, trying to foul Brady Russell into the hole. He stood up a couple of yards, stopped. They will blow that dead. Thomas Booker and Tyree Wilson down there in the bottom. Now Seattle has moved the ball here in this first half. They have moved the ball on every drive. The Raiders did come away with an interception on Mike McDonald's team's first drive. That was after Seattle got into the red zone. It's Martinez again. Jalen Smith makes the stop. Jalen Smith in his 8th year out of Notre Dame. He was a Pro Bowler in 2019. 2020 injuries have kind of stymied his career as well, but he's someone who knows Patrick Graham's system both from New York and Las Vegas.
Yeah, his 2nd stint with the Raiders and showing the athletic ability that we saw from him in Notre Dame, and you saw him early in his Cowboy career that you mentioned, and trying to find a spot on this linebacking group. And we see the competition already. And Jalen Smith trying to say, hey, I can still play.
And he was out of football last year. No teams in 2024, but signed to the Raiders, part of this retooled linebacking group. Empty set for Locke on 3rd down. It's caught, and it's a touchdown. Torrey Horton spun away for 10 yards, and the Seahawks go in front 13-3.
Just tackle him. Just got to tackle. It's okay if he makes the play, if he makes the catch, that's fine, but you got to tackle.
Little stick route.
You just got to tackle. That's all it is. You bring them down. And that's what you go through. You know, this is the first time that they've really, truly been live and tackling to the ground. You got to be able to sandwich the offensive receiver right there. You got one guy on the outside, another from the inside, but you got to bring that guy down right there at the 5-yard line.
And blocked, extra point. All they wanted to see was effort, and the Raiders special teams unit just came away with some effort on a blocked extra point. Now the Seahawks get the touchdown. It's a 10-point game here in Seattle. Well, in Las Vegas, the fun doesn't end when the game ends. Taken into overtime with our world-class entertainment, events, dining, nightlife. When you visit the sports and entertainment capital of the world, plan your next trip at visitlasvegas.com. List of home games for the Raiders. Here's the whole schedule, but the home games start with Monday night against the Chargers. The Bears come to town. There's a Monday nighter against Dallas in November that looks juicy as well. And you know that first one too with the Chargers, Rashawn Slater now out for the year. He went down in practice, their Pro Bowl left tackle. Maybe kind of feels like that puts a little spin on there for Los Angeles a little bit. Yeah, look, think about it. Jim Harbaugh versus Pete Carroll. We get that rivalry renewed between those two coaches. So excited to see Raiders-Chargers week 1 at Allegiant Stadium. Or week 2, I should say, Allegiant Stadium. Week 1 will be in New England as the Mike Vrabel era gets underway against the Pete Carroll era. Sincere McCormick is bringing it out of the end zone, and he does not get out to the 25. Which, again, gets to the point. Why did you bring it out?
Yeah, I mean, the 35 is a huge return. You're busting your backside just to get back to the 20-yard line, 25-yard line.
I would say in a regular season game.
No, I know
they're
trying to get some stuff on tape. I get it. He's
trying to make the team too.
Right?
He's in a competition with some other guys and trying to show his worth. I understand it for Sincere McCormick. I'm trying to make a play. And right now, special teams has probably been the biggest play outside of the interception from Pull him out so far with the block extra point.
Now, Trevin Ma'ai made that blocked extra point. Aiden O'Connell had some good. He's had some tough. Ian Thomas is brought down in the flat. Solid open field tackle made by the Anthony Bell, and it's a loss of 1.
You know, when Aiden O'Connell has a clean pocket, he can be very effective. Where he has had some struggles is when things break down around him. His ability to create and improvise and extend some plays. That's a part of his game where he has to be better in 2025.
He is 5 of 9 for 79 yards. Hand off to McCormick, trying the right side, and there just have not been any holes created here in this opening preseason game by the offensive line, whether it was the starters on the opening drive or some of the backups here the rest of this first half.
Man, that time Jackson Powers Johnson was playing the right guard. He got a nice get off. He tried to get a little bit of push. But this Seahawks defense, we haven't talked enough about the Seahawks defense. It's one of the better defenses in the National Football League, especially the second half of the year. So this isn't just some ordinary defense that this Raiders offense is going up against.
They did not play their starters, though, tonight. Seahawks have gone with all of their backups right from the get-go. Raiders have struggled on third down. Just one conversion here tonight. And the play clock is out. Delay a game.
Never looked up and saw the play clock. Every time I went to a different stadium, first thing I would do is look to see where the play clock is. Sometimes it's a little bit low. This stadium right here is not in a great spot. It's actually a little bit higher, and it's off to the right of that end zone that he's facing.
But it's different spots on different sides.
I think Pete Carroll's able to sneak in a timeout. Yeah. He saw the play clock going down, but these are operation things that you try to go through these situations at practice, Rich, but it never feels right until you get to the game. That's why these preseason games are so important. You can simulate it at practice, but you get to the game. This is the perfect environment with this crowd noise and the communication up front with the offensive line. You got to iron these things out.
And you have some players playing for the first time. You know, you've got some rookies out there, and of course, there's a good look at Greg Olsen. His third trip back to the Raiders. One of the best quarterback coaches and play callers in the business.
I feel like Jack Besh is a name that we see here on third down.
He is towards the top of the screen. They come with a blitz. O'Connell goes the other way, and it's picked off. Nehemiah Pritchett stepped in front, and Seattle set up inside the Raiders 30.
There's another penalty right here. That's a bad decision by Aiden O'Connell, not looking out in front of the throw. It was a trap, and the corner saw it the whole way.
Yeah, I love the drive route. Right underneath. See, if you look, Jack Besh, he's ready right now. If you throw it underneath, let him catch and run for a first down. He tried to throw it into that robber technique that you mentioned, and Seattle played it perfectly. He baited him into throwing that out route. That's just a terrific job of communication there by the secondary. That's Nehemiah Pritchett coming off of his play to make an interception.
However, after the play, unsportsmanlike conduct. Seattle, again, the bench players clearing the one not in uniform. The 15-yard penalty from the end of the run, first down, Seattle.
So, again, that's the second time, both interceptions. The reason the penalty, players come off the bench to celebrate all the time. It's the players who are not dressed.
Right.
It's the starters who are not wearing. I mean, they're dressed. They have clothes on.
Right.
They have Seahawks jerseys.
They don't have pads.
They don't have pads on.
No pads.
Yeah, no pads.
They've got the ball caps and the Cadillac.
They're officially inactive for the game. That last interception by Aiden O'Connell really bothers me. He's a veteran quarterback. He's been around a number of different systems. Not seeing the fact that that's a two deep corner sitting and waiting on the outbreaking route. It's just one you can't put on tape.
Yeah, you'd love to see him just throw it underneath. It should be the catch and run element. The defense, we know where the first down marker is, and to be able to look at the quarterback and steal that one, I know that's one Aiden wishes he could have back.
Penalty takes the Seahawks back to the 42. Drew Lock dumps it out to Damian Martinez. Greedy Vance cannot make the tackle. And Caillou Blue-Kelly cleans it up and spins him out of bounds, but not before he picked up Manuel. We have seen a lot. Again, you expect that in a preseason game. There hasn't been a ton of tackling to the ground. That's how it works in training camp these days. But we've seen a lot of missed tackles tonight.
And I'm never surprised with preseason game number one. I'm telling you, all the coaches around the National Football League, the day after preseason game number one, that's the first thing they're putting on the big whiteboard. Tackling. We've got to be better at it. But this is the first time a lot of these players, young guys, being able to tackle on this level.
Is Tonka Hemingway with a nice play right at the defensive line. And he is right there with his fellow rookie, J.J. Pegues, out of Ole Miss. Those two guys, again, part of this rotation. You know you've got Max Crosby and Adam Butler and Malcolm Kuntz, but then filling out what the rest of the Raiders D-line will look like, that's still kind of up in the air.
How quickly can they evolve, right? These are two young players that you're going to depend on throughout this season. They're going to play. Now, how quickly they evolve is we'll see how many plays that they get, but they're going to have some opportunities. We get a measurement here? We got a measurement, Jason?
We are going to have a measurement here. Now, this season, we are going to have the Hawkeye technology, which we saw last week with the Hall of Fame game, where you have the woo, is it a first down or is it not? Tonight, well, we were told that we are still going to have the chain gang tonight, but Clete Blakeman is looking up at the screen like we're waiting for the Hawkeye technology.
This is supposed to be quicker and more efficient, huh?
So,
yeah. I don't think he got the message.
He might not know that we don't have the Hawkeye technology tonight.
You get the chain gang out.
We got to go old school.
Someone needs to call him. Do we not have communication to tell him? Are we too far? Can you shout?
Measurement without video working. It's determined the ball is short. The third down, that's 5.
Okay.
So there you go.
There's the explanation.
I got to be honest. I'm not sure what that means, but it's third down. So Hawkeye technology, we'll get to see you next Saturday in Las Vegas. Third down. Quarterback sneak, that's first down. Now it's 13-3 with 3:40 to go here in the first half. And the Seahawks have run 35 plays to the 21 for the Raiders. They are over 220 yards of offense.
It's been the big plays, though. A couple breakdowns in communication in the secondary and linebackers. And this is something that will get ironed out. But you got to expect that these plays deep down the field are going to continue for the rest of this game.
Andre Carter's giving chase to Drew Lock. He does dump it down, and is caught by Arroyo. He picks up 5. Now, Drew Lock's a veteran around this league. He's been around a lot of different teams. He was here in Seattle before. And remember, it was he and Geno Smith that were competing to be a starter after they traded Russell Wilson. You know, Geno had so much success, you just thought that he was going to be the guy, but it was a true quarterback competition going into that year.
A lot of people felt like in 2022, Drew Lock was going to be the guy. Geno Smith had played well the year before in those 4 games that he played in 3 starts for the injured Russell Wilson, and Geno wound up winning that job in training camp over Drew Lock. He was the comeback player of the year.
Martinez trying to pick his way. This is going to come back on a hold. Down at the 24-yard line.
Holding. Offense number 61. 10-yard penalty. Replay second down.
That is Jalen Sundell, who is battling to be the backup center or guard here for Seattle. Well, it's preseason for everybody. The Hawkeye technology gets preseason. We get preseason. Traffic was rough. We barely made it to the game tonight.
But we made it.
I didn't realize the Mariners were playing earlier today.
Yeah, a baseball game that goes into extra innings.
And a walk-off winner for Seattle in the stadium right next door. Rich was in a different car than us.
Yeah.
We separate just in case. You got to have one person here.
You know, we talk. You know.
They pulled out the limo for Rich. Come on, man.
No.
For the MVP, he get the limo.
I almost walked over.
They get the limo for Rich. Come on.
Which will bring us to the 2-minute warning. 2-minute warning here in Seattle. Raiders and Seahawks. One of 3 games here on this Thursday to kick off the first full week of the preseason. And Raiders will be back at it next Saturday at home against the 49ers. They'll practice with San Francisco at the end of next week and then get the game in. 2nd and 16 coming up after the penalty for Drew Lock. And a Seahawks offense that has put together 215 yards here in this first half. Quick scan. He hasn't been sacked. He still hasn't. He's got a man, and it's jarred free. Big hit put on Caillou Blue Kelly. Put the hit on the receiver, Cody White, and they are both still shaken up. Now White does get back to his feet.
What a job by Caillou Kelly. Watch how he finishes, though. He comes through and he rips through. I love the finish. It's boom and wrap. He got that shoulder right there on the football. I love that. That's a big-time finish by Caillou Blue Kelly.
He hit him so hard he hurt himself.
Yeah, he looks like he's coming off the field here. We're going to take a look at that right side of his body. So it's 3rd down. Seahawks are 7 of 9 on 3rd down. Over the middle, he's got Martinez out of the backfield. They're not going to get all the way to the 21. Matt Jones and Polamalu combine on the tackle. It's a pickup of 7.
Well, it's a smart play.
And the Raiders do take their 2nd timeout. Sorry, Rich. Stop the clock here.
Smart play, 3rd and 16.
First time out of the half. Made 30 seconds.
Put yourself a completion and put yourself in field goal range.
Yeah, that's one of those inside screens where you have all the receivers who came to the inside, and then you threw to the running back who leaked out. So you had blockers in front, but a nice job of the Raiders defense coming in, hustle, aggressive, making the play.
Pete Carroll's return to Seattle. He's talked a lot about how much he loves it up here. But getting ready for the competition part of all this week when he was asked about it. Hey, it's the game that we're playing, and it's the game, let's go play. So it'll set up a 48-yard field goal. Joe Woods over there as well. The new defensive backs coach for the Raiders coming over from the Saints where he was the defensive coordinator. So a 48-yard field goal for Jason Myers. Remember, the Raiders blocked the last extra point. This one is banged through, and it just sneaks in. Rich. And, you know, the offense does not look precise here in this first preseason game. Aiden O'Connell's had a couple of first-half interceptions, but an opportunity here for a 2-minute drill to put something together before halftime.
Great opportunity to go into the locker room with some confidence and momentum, put together a good 2-minute drive, as you point out, Jason. Just 21 snaps offensively for 114 yards. When you turn the ball over and you're struggling getting off the field defensively, the time of possession has certainly not been in the favor of the Raiders, but just 21 snaps offensively. This is going to be an important 2-minute drill here for the Raiders before the half.
But I would love to know, what would you tell Aiden O'Connell? If you were on the sideline, what are you telling Aiden O'Connell? He's thrown a couple of interceptions. Looks like he's not seeing the field well. What do you tell him in this 2-minute situation?
Well, you got to turn the page, right? You got to forget about the interceptions. Go out. This kid's more than capable. He just has to go out and take better care of the football and put together a good drive.
Lowby is going to take this out to the 35, so he'll have some space to work with. 1 timeout left for the Silver and Black. 102 seconds left.
And incompletions don't hurt you in a 2-minute drill. You know, sometimes the best play, the only play, is to throw it away and avoid a negative play. Sacks will kill you in a 2-minute drill.
But with the touchback, I know the one thing I would probably be telling Aiden O'Connell is 2 first downs and we got points.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Ball's at 35. We get 2 first downs. We've got a kicker who can make a long-distance field goal. So we just got to get 2 first downs, fellas, and we can get some points.
Jack Pesh, Colin Johnson, Alex Bachman, the 3 receivers to the top of the screen.
Yep, we just do.
Seahawks with some pressure. O'Connell steps up. He's got Bachman. He lays out, and he wasn't touched. And just like that, down to the 41-yard line, and there is a flag back. But it was behind Aiden O'Connell, and this is coming back.
I think I'll get Charles Grant, the left tackle, the rookie, I believe.
Holding, offense, number 60.
Yep.
10-yard penalty, replay, first down.
It was interesting. We were talking to Chip Kelly last night about some of these young players, and he mentioned, Charles Grant. He said, we talked about a silent snap count. He said, Coach, I've never run a silent snap count.
1 minute, 34 seconds.
And that's exactly what happened. He just couldn't get out of his stance. A nice rush by Tyreek Smith.
We'll look at Besh up top, just running the crossing route. Deep over.
That's a nice job there. Now that the ball off, but that was Bachman. But still, you got to block up front.
That wipes out a 24-yard pickup. Charles Grant to one of the 2 Raiders third-round pick offensive linemen. The other, Caleb Rogers. O'Connell taking a shot. Colin Johnson, the intended receiver, and it's incomplete. Naden took a shot, too. Connor O'Toole hit him as he threw it.
This silent count, this offensive line's got to be ready. And you can see that they're trying to just a half a beat off when that ball snapped, Rich. I mean, I know that's their first opportunity, but this is great practice.
Half a beat is all it takes. I mean, these guys will be on you now. You cannot afford to be late out of your stance.
And again, if we were talking regular season, you'd also be thinking about not giving the Seahawks time, but they have all 3 of their timeouts remaining. O'Connell over the middle, wide open. And it's close to a first down. Kadir Ismail just short of the marker. One of the tight ends fighting for a roster spot. His dad, Quadre, his uncle, Raheem. It's 3rd and 1. Back to work. First down, Alex Bachman. Brought down inbounds by DeAnthony Bell, but after that penalty, they pick up the first down.
Yeah, way to respond. Aiden O'Connell, right? Comes back and he hits Ishmael. Then it's 3rd and 1, and you're thinking, do they realize it's 3rd and 1? You only need a yard and still have the confidence to throw to Bachman for the first down. Way to rebound, Aiden O'Connell.
Well, the clock stopped with 1:05, and there's going to be a conversation here.
Previous play is under review.
Clete Blakeman has stopped the clock. I believe we're going to have a review.
I think the review is because the near side official whistled it dead as if Bachman got out of bounds.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he did not get out of bounds, and so the clock should have still ran. Is there a body part that comes down in bounds?
Yeah, the
side judge. You know what? He's out of bounds.
He's out of bounds.
Because he rolls up on the defender on DeAnthony Bell.
Yeah, you're correct on that one. That's a nice job by that official. He's on it. That line judge 79. He's standing right there and said, no. He rolled over on Bell. No body part touched inbounds. It got out of bounds.
That is Kent Payne, the line judge.
There we go, Kent Payne. He's already in regular season form.
Yeah, Kent Payne needs no preseason. Well, you're right. I mean, that's tough. It did not look like that was a play where it's out of bounds.
This is a review from upstairs, too.
Yep. Well, we've had a lot of standing around tonight by the officials.
Well, you got a lot. They've got changes to some of these officiating crews as well.
Right.
And so they're getting their reps in just like the players are.
Yeah.
Speed of the game, everything's. Guys have been playing a lot of golf this offseason.
Well, there's also, listen, last year 5 things could be assisted by replay assist.
Right.
That has increased by more than double.
The receiver was down inbounds. Therefore, in this situation, the clock was at 1:06 at the time, so we're going to run 10 seconds from there at 56 seconds on the game clock.
Yeah, I'm Pete. I'm saying, wait, what? Are you sure? Because I'm thinking, I didn't see a body part come down and bounce. Maybe this is a better angle.
Watch his knee.
No, I
don't know about
I don't know, Rich. I don't know. Are we talking about the shin coming down and bound?
I feel like we need Gene Steratore,'s
the index card.
Does it fit underneath? But it is a 10-second runoff because the clock did stop, which helps the Raiders. O'Connell takes another shot. Colin Johnson cannot make the back shoulder grab. Tough coverage.
That's another shot on Aiden O'Connell after he threw that one. He's taken some hits so far in this drive. I mean, we never question his toughness, but at some point you're the quarterback. He's getting rid of it, and he's getting hit.
And that's Connor O'Toole again. Now 51 seconds left in the timeout. On a drive that began on the 35, they lost yards with a holding call. O'Connell hit from behind as he lets go of the football. Tyreek Smith again. The 4th-year pro out of Ohio State. Most of his career here in Seattle, up and down to the practice squad, but he's had a solid first half.
Yeah, he's had some nice couple rushes there. Right now, if you're Charles Grant, welcome to the NFL.
47 seconds on the game. 47.
He's got to get back and get set. Right now, Tyreek Smith realizing he's got a rookie in front of him, and he's just giving him the bull rush. Need Charles Grant to kind of throttle down a little bit and just give Aiden O'Connell just enough time.
Well, this place is not full, but it is still loud even in the preseason. This is one of the loudest places in the NFL. O'Connell, he's got Colin Johnson, and he's spun away. He's close to the marker. And he runs over to spot it. And they did give him the first down. Now the clock is still running. We are inside of 30 seconds. Raiders do have one timeout. McCormick with the run. And now Pete Carroll will use that final timeout.
I want to go back to that 3rd down play. Because we were just talking about Charles Grant, and he's a rookie offensive tackle. He's kind of getting beat a couple times, and so a nice job by Chip Kelly adjusting his blocking scheme. He put Sincere McCormick to help out the young. He put the back over there. Watch the left side. They bring the running back, and that gave O'Connell enough time. So that's the adjustment that Chip Kelly shows that, hey, I've got a rookie left tackle in his first game in an environment where he's got a snap count, a silent snap count, but a tremendous job by McCormick.
And Alex Bachman went down, guys, with a non-contact injury. And he is over on the sideline. He was visibly frustrated. He threw his helmet on the ground. He was not touched when he went down. So Raiders now out of timeouts. 21 seconds. That clock is down to 5 for Aiden O'Connell. Seahawks come with a blitz. O'Connell off his back foot, and it's too far in front of Colin Johnson. Demarion Williams again in coverage, and so it's 3rd down.
And so this is where you got a conversation about your special teams unit. Field goal, be ready, because you may have a situation where you have to run on. But if Aiden O'Connell said, look, I'm either throwing it to you and you get out of bounds, or I'm throwing it out of bounds to preserve some time on the clock to get a field goal opportunity if you don't pick up enough yards.
And you can't clock it, obviously, because it's 3rd down unless you get the first down.
O'Connell is 3 of 7 on the drive, and a timeout taken by Seattle.
I think that's why Seattle calls the timeout, because they know there's a certain defense you got to play. Got to guard the sidelines and not allow the completion for the extra yards for the Raiders.
Well, Rich, you were talking earlier about having Greg Olsen, right, as part of this staff. Chip Kelly is the offensive coordinator, but Greg Olsen has been around this league a very long time.
Yeah, he coached Geno in Seattle last year. He's been a long-time coordinator and quarterback coach. Great addition to the staff. He's been a great resource for Chip Kelly. His third stint with the Raiders, I ran into him in the elevator today. He was the offensive coordinator back in 2013 and 2014 again. Under John Gruden back in 2018 through 2021. He's been around the block, and he knows what he's doing when it comes to coaching up the quarterback.
See what Aiden O'Connell's got, 8 of 17 in the half. Seahawks bring forward. It's a quick throw. Ismail makes the catch, but he is.
Here comes the
They're going to race on Daniel Carlson. They wanted to get a few yards to try to get him a kick. They're going to have to try and hurry to get this off. We're down to 7. The clock is stopped at 8. The clock is not running.
That's weird. It is
now. It is running. It's a 55-yard field goal for Carlson, and he is no good. And now the clock at 0. It kept running 3 or 4 seconds after the half actually went. Preseason form all around.
Everybody's in preseason, man.
The clock operator's asleep at the wheel.
Now we'll wait here for Pete Carroll, who's going to join us here as the Raiders run into the locker room. There's certainly a lot to talk about in that first half as they trail Seattle 16-3. Aiden O'Connell had some struggles. In that opening half, the offensive line struggled to open some holes as well. And we welcome in the head coach of the Raiders, Pete Carroll here. Coach Jason Horowitz, Rich Gannon, Kirk Morrison up here. Your overall takeaway of those first 30 minutes?
Oh, man, too many penalties, man. We just made it easy on them, you know. The scores wouldn't be like this, so we got to just get out of our own way. We had a couple of defensive holdings and really crucial situations, a call that doesn't usually get called. And anyway, we're too sloppy to be ahead right now. This game is just getting going.
Coach, talk a little bit about the offense. You mentioned a couple turnovers, but not a lot of snaps, and that doesn't help you find your rhythm offensively.
That's because we've had some trouble getting off the field on defense because the penalties keep adding up. We just got to get out of our own way, like I said.
Yeah, to get the tackling in the second half, what do you tell the guys to increase that tackling?
It's the first time. We got to go tackle somebody. You know, we got to do it. We got to get better at it. This first half should help us because we've already taken our shots. Let's get some good ones and see if we can get them on the ground.
All right, Coach, go tackle in the locker. Appreciate it, Pete. Pete Carroll in his return to Seattle will run off into the locker room with the team down 16-3. Our halftime coaches interview brought to you by Coca-Cola Zero Sugar, the official soft drink of the Las Vegas Raiders. We have come to the end of the first half. 16-3 Seattle. You're watching Las Vegas Raiders football. Halftime coming up. Welcome back to Lumen Field here in Seattle. Preseason week number 1 between the Raiders and the Seahawks. Well, this offseason marked major changes for the Silver and Black. New general manager, new head coach, new starting quarterback. And it all began with owner Mark Davis's new vision for the franchise.
Commitment to excellence. That's what this organization is all about. It's about a commitment to excellence. If there's one thing I know about football, it's the ultimate team sport. It takes every single person.
The flame that we burn brightest here is the will to win. Is the will to win. Is the will to win.
Your commitment to excellence and your will to win will endure forever. You and Matt Davis.
I'm gonna say one other thing. It's hard.
The Las Vegas Raiders. Sources say they have finalized the deal for their new general manager. It is John Spytek.
I see a lot of really quality football players in here, and the one thing that they haven't had is stability.
Breaking news into First Take. Adam Schefter tweeted moments ago, Pete Carroll and the Raiders now have reached an agreement on a 3-year deal.
We're always pursuit of finding great competitors that will help us build a great team.
Raiders hired former Ohio State offensive coordinator Chip Kelly as their new OC.
We have some more breaking news. The Las Vegas Raiders signing defensive end Max Crosby.
When it comes to my work ethic, when it comes to my commitment to excellence, the only way you can inspire others is by being different and pulling others along.
This is not a drill. Just moments ago, the Seattle Seahawks have agreed to terms with the Las Vegas Raiders.
Fans can expect a hard-working, real studious quarterback.
Let's go. Where is 3? 1, 2, 3.
Let's talk about the Raiders, because there's a lot of news there, right?
I think they had one of the better off seasons around the NFL.
The 2025 NFL Draft is now officially open. With the 6th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Las Vegas Raiders select Ashton Jeanty.
It's got to be competitive. It's got to be upbeat. We're going to make something of what is presented to us.
We're trying to take this as far as you can possibly take it.
Expect that it's going to be a challenge every day.
Welcome to the new Las Vegas Raiders.
The darkness is setting, 16-3. Seattle the lead as we get set to start the third quarter here at Lumen Field as we welcome you back into the booth alongside Rich Gannon, Kirk Morris, and Jason Horowitz. Happy to have you with us. Pretty sloppy first half. We heard that from Pete Carroll as he was going into the locker room. A lot of missed tackles, penalties, and the offense never got a rhythm.
I think it always starts with the techniques and fundamentals, right? Blocking, getting off of blocks, tackling, communication. But I just thought when you watch the first half of football on both sides of it, but let's look a little bit about what happened on offense. I just thought, you have to realize that every play matters. You can't have two good plays and then a bad play. I thought Aiden O'Connell made some great throws. Finds the tight end Thomas. When we talked a lot about it, when the protection's good, he's got time to set his feet. Good throw here down the seam to Bachman, but when it gets flushed and he gets off the spot and he has to move, it affects his timing and his rhythm and obviously his accuracy. But a couple bad decisions, Kirk, that really bothered me before the half.
Yeah, I think you want to see more from a guy who's in year 3. You think he's going to make that next jump, that next leap. Look, there is no quarterback controversy. We know Geno Smith's the starter, but I want to see more from Aiden O'Connell in the second half.
When it comes to world-class hospitality and entertainment, one name stands above the rest. Yamava Resort and Casino at San Manuel, voted #1 casino outside of Vegas by Newsweek. You in? Details at Yamava.com. Must be 21 or over. Tanner, please gamble responsibly. You see the stats from the first half. Time of possession, amount of plays, total yards, all of it favoring Seattle and Drew Lock. And, think about Kirk last year at this time. Aiden O'Connell was in a true quarterback battle to be the starter with Gardner Minshew. Rich, I think you thought that he outperformed in the preseason. They went with Gardner Minshew. Aiden got his time. He had some injuries, but he has been a starter on this team. But to Kirk's point, I think you expected or hoped to see a little bit more there in the first half.
Yeah, especially in year 3. You want to see that jump to show, hey, I've improved, I'm ready to go.
Damian Martinez trying to bring it out in the special teams down there to make the stop. Good to see Alex Bachman down there on special teams. He left with what looked like a non-contact injury in the first half, but he is back in the game.
Hey, I got some good news to start the second half. How about this? How about the telestrators working?
Hey! Rich has got some toys over here, everybody.
The telestrator that works.
Well, Jalen Milroe now into the game for the Seattle Seahawks, the 3rd-round pick out of Alabama, dynamic runner who improved over his career as a passer. And they're excited about what he delivers, which is an opening hole and a running gaping spot. Jacardier Wright, the rookie out of Missouri State, goes for 11 on his first carry.
And this is what I wanted to see. How will this Raiders defense, his second and third string guys, how will they handle Jalen Milroe? Because you've got a guy who's now a runner. And so just the threat of the run by the quarterback, you see the defensive end, he goes up straight to Milroe, which leaves an open gap for the running back to go through.
Now, there's been a lot talked about here around Seattle with Jalen Milroe's ability. Could he unseat Drew Lock as the backup because of things like this? There is a flag down that he has 10 yards before he's shoved out of bounds by Matt Jones. Now, this may come back for holding, but that escapability is exactly what you're talking about.
Offense number 52, 10-yard penalty, replay first down.
Yeah, extremely. That's a great rush by Tonka Hemingway. We've talked about Tonka a lot in the first half, and he had an outstanding rush on that last play. He's the one that flushed Jalen Milroe out of the pocket. That's just a nice job there. See, Tonka right there, he's up top. He flushed Jalen Milroe out of the pocket.
And that hold there was against Zach Carter, who was trying to get up the middle. So 1st and 20 for Milroe. Delivers a pass to Jake Bobo, and Caillou Blue-Kelly there to make the sure-handed tackle. He's made a couple of plays here down the stretch of the second quarter and early in the third.
But he's tackling better. Yep. Remember, he gave up the touchdown throw. Well, didn't make the tackle on Torrey Horton for the touchdown in the first half, but he's made back-to-back solid tackles. And that's what you want to see, the improvement. Caillou Blue-Kelly's trying to put his name in the hat for this secondary of cornerbacks vying for starting positions.
And if again to Cartier-Wright, good push by the defensive line. Zach Carter cleans it up. Matt Jones again. And Matt Jones got early action. He was in there in the middle part of the first quarter. And he's getting a lot of look here on this linebacking core, which again, a lot of established older guys that we talked about, Rich, to start this broadcast with Jermaine Pratt and Landon Roberts and Devin White. But the 4th, 5th, 6th linebacker is not necessarily sold yet.
It's a room that looks a lot different than a season ago. You look at those linebackers. I think a lot more depth, talent, and experience without question.
Milroe almost picked off. Kelly jumped the route, got his hands on it, and the Seahawks will have to punt.
That's a nice job.
Good rep there by Kelly.
It's just about the drive. See the drive, that back foot plants, and he's right there for it. He should have picked that one off. He knows it. That's how you do it right there. Caillou Blue-Kelly making some plays. And we always talk about who are the guys that are going to stand up. Who are the guys that are going to shine when they get out there in the preseason. Right now, Caillou Blue-Kelly making plays.
And the other thing is what can you do in the kicking game? Where can you contribute in special teams? Because a lot of these young players, that's how they're going to make this team.
Raiders have 2 returners. It's Dylan Laube and Tommy Millott. And it's Laube who comes up to field it at the 25-yard line. And they'll take it out to the 35 after a 10-yard return, which is where the Raiders and Aiden O'Connell will take over to start this second half, early in the third. Jason Horwitz, Rich Gannon, Kirk Morrison up in the booth, which we are sharing with the Seahawks booth. Marshawn Lynch, are you leaving, Kirk? Oh, Kirk left. He might have made a tackle as we start the third drive. Dylan Laube gets a carry. You left! Did you get the tackle, Kirk?
I did get the tackle, the solo tackle of Marshawn Lynch. Here goes the tackle. Boom! Solo tackle. That's a solo tackle right there, Marshawn Lynch. Yeah, I set you up for the tackle. There it is.
I thought Michael Robinson would have blocked you back in the day. He didn't even stand up. He was still eating his popcorn over there. Michael Robinson, Michael Bennett, Kate Scott, the Seahawks broadcast team tonight. 2nd down and 7 for Aiden O'Connell. Line holds up, throws the slant, and Philip Dorsett went low, and he did make the catch. That's a pickup of 10 and the first down.
Philip Dorsett's had a good camp. And look, there's some young rookies who are playing well in Besh and Thornton, but Philip Dorsett, a veteran in this league, still making plays. This is year 9 for him, and trying to see if he can crack this rotation at wide receiver.
He was in camp with the Raiders 2 summers ago. They brought in, and Josh McDaniels and company were there. Didn't make the team in 2023, but a former first-round pick. Nice pickup on the blitz in the backfield, and it's Dorsett again. Great job in the backfield by Chris Collier to pick up the blitz, and they get 14 yards.
Yeah, again, you talked about protection all the time, right, Rich? Well, Aiden O'Connell's got protection, and look at where the football is. Delivered, on time, outside. That's the Aiden O'Connell we want to see.
Yeah, Dorsett's got a nice pace about him. Very experienced route runner, doesn't rush it. Does a great job creating separation at the top of that route and working back down the sideline.
Collier stays in the backfield. Cedric Jackson in the game for the first time as a receiver. Over the middle. He's got his tight end, Carter Runyon, right down the middle of the field. Carter Runyon, the rookie out of Towson, has a first down and a 20-yard gain.
Just watch Runyon. He's just going to work right down the middle of the field. Little play action fake to the back. And this is just a really nice read and a good throw by Aiden O'Connell to the tight end in the middle of the field. Took us away to the goal line, right down the middle of the field.
Gets the handoff with a head of speed. He spun off the first tackle. Cannot get away from the last one. Tyreek Smith holding on to his ankles, but a hard first down run.
Yeah, it's a physical run. And I think that's what we're looking for when we talk about this competition with the running backs. We know what Ashton Genty is. Zamir White also brings that hammer ability. But can Chris Collier show you he can give you some of that downhill physical running?
Now it's Dylan Laube in the backfield. Remember, he was the 6th-round pick last year out of New Hampshire. Got a lot of conversation in training camp. Never really got a chance on offense. They throw the slant. It's caught at the 5. Justin Shorter makes the grab, and it'll be 1st and goal on the opening drive for the Raiders in the 3rd quarter.
And Aiden O'Connell now looks like he's settled in. He's in rhythm. He's getting the ball out quick.
But always near the goal line. I love the location. That ball can't be high, right, Rich?
Low and away.
Low and away. And that's where that football was located at. It's a nice job by Aiden O'Connell.
Shorter's got the length, too. Into the season last year as a tight end with the Raiders. He's 6'4". He's playing exclusively a wide receiver this year. Out of the backfield, he's got Laube reaching for the goal line. Touchdown, Raiders! Dylan Laube gets the Raiders in the end zone for the first time in this preseason.
That's a good-looking drive.
I think earlier, remember, Aiden O'Connell missed this route. Remember, he missed this throw. He didn't make it. This time, he knew right away, get it out there. Let Laube go out and make a play. He didn't throw that one earlier to Raheem Mostert, but this time he gets it out there. Let Laube go ahead and show you that physical run, that aggressiveness to the end zone.
So Carlson on to finish off a drive in which Aiden O'Connell was 5 of 5. He is good on the extra point. And Pete Carroll told us going into the locker room, we got a lot of football left to play. The defense gets a stop, and the offense marches right down the field to get in the end zone.
The lob to Laube for the touchdown.
Dylan Laube in the end zone for the Raiders. 16-10, 9:05 to go in the 3rd quarter. The Raiders drive finished with a touchdown brought to you by Credit One Bank, the official credit card of the Las Vegas Raiders. 7 plays, 65 yards right down the field. And Aiden O'Connell 5 of 5 for 45 on the drive.
Pete Carroll must have spiked the Gatorade or something at halftime. But that's the kind of drive you want to see coming out of the second half. Very efficient. Great anticipation. You can just tell Aiden O'Connell really settled in and got in the groove.
I just love the location and the ball placement. I mean, he put the ball where it needed to be, and his receiver stepped up for him on that drive.
And you know, for Dylan Laube, remember last year it was the Pittsburgh game in October. He got his first career NFL carry. He fumbled. Never really got offensive opportunity again, but he had a big kickoff return in December. He was just hoping, we were talking in camp a couple weeks ago, just hoping to get some opportunities to show this new staff what he can do, and he just put the Raiders on the board. Carlson's kick lands in the landing zone and bounces into the end zone, and now goes out of bounds. So remember, again, dynamic kickoff new last year. If you need a refresher, it is the preseason. If it's a touchback that lands before the goal line and then goes into the end zone, it does come out to the 20.
Yeah.
If it's a touchback that lands in the end zone first, this year it's out to the 35.
It's a big difference. And you can see the excitement from Carlson. Kind of hit a little line drive. Looked like one of your forearms. A little low and left.
You think
I'm talking to you? Yeah,
you think I carry a 4-iron?
No. Yeah. Come on, my 60 looks like that. Come on, man. I got a little 60. I can put that right on there.
Rich, I'm 42 these days. My back hurts. I haven't thrown a golf club all summer. We can't all hang out at the beach like you.
Little knuckleball.
So, Jalen Milroe getting his 2nd series.
This kid was an impressive student athlete at the University of Alabama.
Ooh, tough throw. Big hit. Chris Smith comes up to make the stick on Brady Russell, but it does go for 7 yards. And Chris Smith's getting an opportunity, too. You know, Lonnie Johnson went down with an injury last weekend in Allegiant Stadium. He and Max Crosby collided in that mock game that fans got to see in Las Vegas. And, you know, there were big hopes and plans for Lonnie Johnson as a safety. So who has to step up? And it's the third-year guy out of Georgia.
It was the nickel safety spot that Lonnie Johnson was playing. He would come in the nickel situations, let Jeremy Chin go and play the nickel. So Chris Smith does have that opportunity to take that role over by making some plays.
And Chris Smith has primarily been a special teams player in his first 2 years with the Raiders. Raiders stacked him up, so it'll be 3rd down and 1 here for Seattle.
Booker getting a lot of reps in there. Played all 17 games last season for the Eagles, was a part of that Super Bowl championship run.
2 different Bookers on that defensive line. Thomas Booker IV just got to Las Vegas this week. Also Tank Booker, rookie out of SMU. The handoff, the bounce to the outside. And Jacardier right into space. And he is down the sideline. He is explosive, and he is inside the 30.
I think we got a hold on the end. It was just too much of a wide open lane on the outside. I think we got a hold at the end of the offensive line.
Well, it will wipe away a 45-yard run if it is.
It's just all about the angle.
Offense number 38. 10-yard penalty for the spot and foul. Replay 3rd down.
Can't miss that tackle.
Yep.
Regardless of the penalty, you've got to come down under control and know that you're the last line of defense.
Yeah, you're the edge of the earth. That's what coaches always tell me. You're the edge of the earth. If anything's behind you, it's over. So JT Woods, we saw it earlier too with Darian Porter. So I already know next week when we get to practice, Pete Carroll, the former defensive back coach for you, Rich, you understand that's what they're going to practice. It's about taking the right angle on the outside. If you're the cornerback, they're going to make these corners for the Raiders have to tackle all season long.
Yeah, you got to set the edge. Somebody's got to show up and be physical and come downhill. But too many runs have gotten outside. Too many explosives already in this game.
Remember, that's how George Holani scored a 23-yard touchdown earlier tonight for Seattle. So wipe out the 45-yard run. Instead, it's 3rd down and 7. And there's movement on both sides of the offensive line.
Left guard, left tackle.
False start. Offense number 79. 5-yard penalty for 3rd down.
There's Amari Kite. So 3rd and 12. Penalties were a problem for the Raiders in the first half, and clearly early going here in the 3rd quarter for Seattle. Raiders back out of the blitz. Milroe steps up, gets away, and he's dragged down from behind. Thomas Booker IV from Philly to Vegas to Seattle, all in a span of 48 hours.
Showing you retrace. That's what we call retrace. He gets up the field, but watch the movement by 47. He's going to get up the field, and watch how to retrace. He sees where, look at, turn around and go find it.
That was well done.
That's good retrace.
Love the effort.
That's all you're preaching. There's a reason why he told Pete Carroll, you know, hey, I want to play. I want to show you. I want to make this team. Trying to make that rotation opposite Adam Butler.
Malott and Laube waiting for the punt again.
He's got some space.
No one called for it, and it bounces over Malott's head inside the 10, and will go all the way to the end zone for a touchback.
Well, he almost made another mistake. When that ball went in the end zone, he almost went down and got it.
And if he touched it, it could have been recovered. Instead, it's a 78-yard punt.
Get away from it. Wow.
Now Jamal Adams will join us on the other side. Raiders offense back on the field. Back here in beautiful Seattle, 16-10. Seahawks the lead over the Raiders. 6:36 to go as Aiden O'Connell's getting warmed up to come back out for this offense. Jason Horowitz, Rich Gannon, Kirk Morrison. We've talked about a lot of people making their return to this area, and the man joining us now as well, Jamal Adams. A lot of great years here with the Seahawks. Some great plays in the first half. What is it like to get back out here on this field tonight for preseason for the Silver and Black?
Yeah, it feels good, man. Just to go out and fly around and make some plays. Obviously, just being back in Seattle is it's bittersweet. Obviously, a lot of mixed emotions about it, but I was excited to get back out there.
Jamal, you were working out all off season, and then you made the call to Pete Carroll. What was that conversation like in trying to get onto the Raiders?
Yeah, he, obviously I've been sending him, some videos and, just sending him some texts to say, I'm ready, I'm healthy, and, I just need a shot. He hit me back and told me that I can come in for a workout, and the rest was history.
Yeah, your position versatility is what I think is so attractive to the Raiders as we watch this little...
Yeah, right in front of
get out the way.
We don't want we don't want you getting hit while you're talking to us over here. Philip Dorsett made the catch for 12 yards.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that because you have the ability to play down around the line of scrimmage. You've done it throughout your career, but to play the outside linebacker position or a big nickel, just walk us through what that looks like.
Yeah, just obviously just getting around the ball, man, and just making plays, doing what I do best, and just being a disruption. Whatever they ask me to do, I'm going to do. But like I said, man, I'm just here, and I'm happy to be a Raider.
A couple of yards on that run. Jamal, your time here with Pete Carroll, you went from the Jets, traded here to Seattle, so you got to experience Pete Carroll up here, and now Pete in Las Vegas. You had all those success together. What's the difference that you noticed in him from 5-6 years ago to what you're seeing now with Las Vegas?
Man, one thing about Pete, he doesn't change, man, so copy and paste. He's going to bring his energy. He brings his style. And that's just his philosophy. And, once you buy into it, he makes everybody a believer. So I'm excited to be here, man, and get the guys going.
Chris Collier with another 5 yards to make it 3rd down and short.
Jamal, how would you describe the maturation of this defense under Patrick Graham and Pete Carroll? It's like they're merging two defenses together. How would you describe it?
Yeah, obviously it's very versatile, man, and you got a lot of guys that can make plays, especially in the front seven and the back end. So, we're just going to make it, hard on the offense and obviously just continue to be creative and unique in a lot of ways and, just fly to the ball and make plays.
Jamal, you want to call that QB sneak right there? Hey, how do you, we're not getting to see this Hawkeye technology tonight. What do you think about that? Have you seen it?
No, I haven't seen it. I'm actually watching the game a little bit about while I'm talking to you guys, but I'm trying to stay, locked in on the game. Obviously, that's just who I am, natural football player. But, man, I have not seen the new technology, but I can only imagine it's 2025, so.
Jamal, last one for me. You've been on different teams. How do you establish yourself as a leader on this defense?
Yeah, obviously, I just come in and just be myself. It's been a long time coming. I haven't really been healthy, for 3 years, should you say, mentally and physically. So just to get back to where I am now before the injury, man, it's light years, and I'm just very grateful.
Turn around, watch this 4th down. I think Aiden got it. I don't know. You tell me. You're down there. This crowd doesn't think we got it.
I think he got it. Give me the far side official. He's got the right spot.
We got to bring in that technology thing, man, where they put the line on the ground or whatever it is. I seen
the Hawkeye.
We got to bring that in, man. I'm not for sure. Hopefully, we got it though.
Well, if I was coaching Aiden O'Connell, you got to get down. You got to get low when you run these quarterback sneaks.
For sure.
Jamal, I got a question for you,
yes,
Jamal.
Sir.
Seeing you at practice, how fun is football to you? I see you flying around and you're laughing, you're talking. Yeah. It seems like no one is having more fun than Jamal Adams on a football field.
Well, first off, that is a first down. But man, honestly, I'm just grateful to be back, man. Like I said, man, it's been 3 long years, mentally and physically, and I'm very grateful to be back on the turf, man. And anytime I hit the turf, man, I'm gonna have a blast. So, man, I'm excited to get back to doing what I do and make people understand who I am.
Jamal, we're going to let you get back to the sideline. We appreciate you joining us here on the broadcast. Stay healthy this year, and we'll see you in Vegas next week.
I appreciate you, fellas. Thank you.
Jamal Adams, who made 3 tackles in the first half. And again, the transition, Kirk, you played linebacker. You're the leading tackle for this franchise for a few years. The transition from what he played as safety to down to a linebacker.
The versatility that he brings, right? We all think of the all-pro safety, Jamal Adams, but what he's showing now is that he can play an in-the-box linebacker, a will linebacker, so to speak. He's still one of the great blitzers off the the edge. So now he can play blitzer, he can play linebacker, he can play some weak side safety when you're playing this cover 3 zone defense. So that's what this defense is under Patrick Graham. It's a little bit of Pete Carroll in that cover 3, and then Patrick Graham's cover 2, cover 4. It's it's both of these things marrying in together, and he can play them all.
And he plays to a certain style. He's very physical. He's down around the line of scrimmage. He's around the football. He brings a ton of energy to the huddle. And that's what I love about it. You can't have enough of those type of players on the field.
Now this 3rd down and 5. And the Seahawks have 9 guys lined up across the line of scrimmage.
They take a shot right here.
They come with a blitz. O'Connell has got an open man. Justin Shorter hauls it in for a 1st down.
I love that.
Good job with protection first and foremost. So the back get involved. The back's going to step up in there. Look at Laube. He's right up inside helping. A little bit of a communication breakdown. Let someone come up through that B gap. But a good job by Aiden O'Connell. Great anticipation using the boundary on this little out ball.
I just love that subtle move to the left. You see how he bought himself just a little bit of time to get away from the rush, and that's all he needed to deliver the football.
Aiden O'Connell was at a much better 3rd quarter. That time well over the head of Shorter, but before that pass, he was 8 of 9 in the half, including a touchdown.
I thought you brought up a great point, though, Rich. When Philip Dorsett's coming to the game, a veteran wide receiver, what does a veteran wide receiver do to a guy who's trying to get back on track in the game?
Well, you know exactly what you're going to get. A guy that's going to be very disciplined in terms of his depth. He understands coverages. So the biggest concern you have as a quarterback, you don't want to get fooled. You have a young guy out there, not quite sure what to do, not quite sure what the adjustment is. That's where bad things happen.
Here's Collier trying to break it out to the left. Picks up about 4. You know, the first drive of the 3rd quarter, the Raiders still had some starters on the offensive line. Jordan Meredith was still in at center. Jackson Powers Johnson was still in at right guard. Those guys have been replaced, so these are all backup 2nd and 3rd line guys at this moment here the rest of the way.
I still want to see the Raiders run the football better. You know, you look at the first half and look at what we've done so far. The running game has been a priority this offseason. I want to see more explosive runs.
Now this is the 12th play of the drive. Play clock down to 2. O'Connell near side. Colin Johnson, another 1st down. And they will keep the drive moving. He made the grab right in front of Isaias Waxter. And it's another 1st down for the 6'5" receiver.
These little stop routes have been very effective.
But I think it's the 6'5", 220-pound Colin Johnson.
Yeah, but he
gives you a catch radius.
A little back shoulder throw, just runs off the corner. That's one of the hardest routes to defend in the National Football League if you're a corner. A well-thrown back shoulder ball.
Oh, Lobby gobbled up in the backfield. Coming downhill to make the hit for Seattle, Anthony Campbell. But that gets back to what you were saying about trying to get whoever's playing on the offensive line to open up some holes.
Yeah, the right guard and the right tackle have a combination block. They don't really pass it off. Munford put in a tough spot there. The defensive tackle just splits that gap.
We've seen Fair Munford at left tackle tonight. He is back at right tackle. As we are inside of 20 seconds in a fast-moving 3rd quarter. O'Connell with a clean pocket and a nice throw. Shedrick Jackson with a flag in the secondary at the 28-yard line. If it holds, it's a pickup of 16 yards.
No, I don't like this call. Don't like this call at all. Early indication on the Raiders, but I don't know if I...
Pass interference. Offense, number 4. 10-yard penalty. Replay 2nd down.
That's come on now.
That's really
come on, Rich.
That's saying something when a defensive player is complaining about the call.
Yeah, because
that's not very good. But you know what they get you when they see your hand extended,
yep.
And you're trying to create a little bit of separation. Really, no need for it there when you look at the route run by Shedrick Jackson.
Cedric Jackson in his second year out of Auburn as we have reached the end of the third quarter. Raiders trying to march down the field and take the lead. They're down 16-10. You're watching Las Vegas Raiders football presented by Credit One Bank, the official credit card of the Las Vegas Raiders. Raiders with a 2nd and 22. Aiden O'Connell did not start tonight, but he has gone the whole way after the opening drive that Geno Smith commanded. He's back to pass. It's over the middle, and it's behind Philip Dorsett, incomplete. Now, O'Connell was much better in the third quarter. 9 of 11 for 83 yards and a touchdown, and Dorsett is still down on the ground.
A little behind Dorsett. Well, it's just the linebacker that came through.
Drake Thomas, who was with the Raiders in camp a couple years ago, had a really solid preseason. He was claimed off waivers by Seattle. Been up here ever since. Dorsett on the sideline, 3rd down and 22. Quick throw, Cedric Jackson waiting for blockers into space. And he picks up enough, maybe 13 yards, to maybe think about a 54-yard field goal.
You've got a guy that has that range for sure when you look at Daniel Carlson. That's the one thing that really stood out to me late last year, Jason, just these kickers, their range. You know, back in the day, a 52, 53-yard field goal was a shot. These guys make it look like an extra point.
Well, he missed from 55 going the other direction right before halftime. This one will be from 56, put down by Cole, heading towards the uprights, and that one he drills.
That's good from 65. Oh, yeah.
He got that one.
So, Raiders within a field goal. Geno Smith's going to join us. You see him talking to Daniel Carlson. He's going to put the headset and talk to us next.
Smith sets, fires downfield, wide open, touchdown!
Smith to the end zone, touchdown!
What a throw!
Smith deals, open, touchdown! Smith in Jigba!
Let's bring that juice, man. Let's bring that juice. Elite focus all day.
Yeah, there were a whole lot of plays we could have picked from the last 3 years to show up Geno Smith's highlights, but we got those, and he's now wearing those colors and good enough to join us here on the broadcast. Jason Horowitz, Rich Gannon, Kirk Morrison. Geno, you got in 5 plays tonight.
Yes, sir.
Were you asking to go for 5 more?
I mean, I'll just play until Coach takes me out, but once I got out there, man, the competitive juices started flowing, and I wanted to be out there the whole game, really.
So, talk a little bit about what we talked about last night, just your perseverance, man, your physical and mental toughness. You've been through a lot. You kind of reached the pinnacle of your career, being a Pro Bowl type player. What's it mean to come back to a place that you had great success with the last couple years?
You know what? It means everything. And, earlier, when I was out here in pregame, saw a lot of fans and a lot of the kids that I, worked with from the Children's Hospital. They came out to see me. So that was a special moment for me. Always seeing my teammates, my old teammates, and, some old coaches, strength coaches. That was always fun, too. So it's really good to be back here. But, I'm really focused on the guys that, we have now and just trying to win this game.
But now, new team, you're traded to the Raiders, and you get a FaceTime from Raiders part owner Tom Brady, man. Take me through that FaceTime, that phone call when Tom Brady says, hey, welcome to the Raiders.
Yeah, I mean, he called me on FaceTime, and I was at home in Florida, just got traded, and, we talked for a little bit and, just kind of laid out the game plan and what the future would look like. And so, I was happy to, get that call from him, and, we started to really talk from then on, and we've just kind of been talking ever since.
Geno Smith with us here. You've been on both ends of this, right, where you've played 3/4 of preseason games trying to make rosters. You've also been the guy who's been the starter. Like, how do these emotions change for you in preseason and what you're taking out of this first game?
It never changes. I'm a competitor. I love to play. This is what I do for a living. I love football. So any chance I get to go compete, I'll go in there right now if I could. Any chance I get to go compete, I'm looking forward to it. And, no matter what the situation or circumstances, the mindset stays the same for me.
Geno, I think a lot of Raider fans are excited to see what Chip Kelly's offense is really about. Just kind of a wide open, freestyle, aggressive, attacking style of offense. 35 years in college and the NFL. He's got a wealth of experience. What's this offense going to look like under Chip Kelly?
You know what? We're not doing a lot today, but, we want to be efficient and we want to be explosive. We got some great players on offense. It starts up front with the line. We got to be physical. We got to run the ball. And Chips, really that's really what he does best. He opens up the run game so that we can do, other things in the pass game.
You've been in this league a long time, but have you seen a tight end like Brock Bowers? You've developed a chemistry with him like instantly. How has that happened so quickly?
You know what? It's a lot of hard work, a lot of repetition, and Brock's a great player, and it's only his second year, and he's so good, man. But it's my job as his quarterback to make sure that he does better than he did last year. So we're working extremely hard, building our chemistry, and he's been great so far.
He had 112 catches last year. Are you putting a number at like 140?
You know what? If he gets 140, that's going to help our team, help our offense. So we want to get him as many catches as we can, and not force feed him the ball, but he's going to make a lot of plays for us, and so we got to get him involved.
Last one for me, Gino. Ashton Genty in the huddle with you. What was his emotions? What was his energy like early in the game?
Man, Ashton's just cool, man. He's cool. He's laid back. The moment's not too big for him, and it was exciting for all the rookies to get in there today. I was excited for those guys, and really just want them to keep learning and get this experience, man. It's a great chance to play here and be in the NFL and get your first game, get your first reps in. I know what that's like, so just want those guys to embrace it and just take it all in.
You've been very active over on the sideline all game. We're going to let you go back to your teammates. Thank you so much, Gino, for joining us. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, Geno Smith, he did start tonight, got in the game. The first drive, 5-yard pickup and a first down for the Seahawks.
But you heard what he said there, though, right? Like we can't show too much.
Yeah.
And for us who've had the opportunity to go see him at practice, just the chemistry that he's developed, the throws to Jacoby Myers, we've seen the same thing with Brock Bowers and then Michael Mayer. And so you almost you want to show everybody these new presence that the Raiders have, but you realize they've got a game coming up in a couple weeks in New England that we'll finally get a chance to see this offense really unleashed.
A real quick throw. It's caught by the tight end Marshall Lang. And another first down. Jalen Milroe putting together a nice drive here for Seattle.
Just real quickly, just to pay off Gino one last time. The thing that I really like about him, obviously the physical, mental toughness, the competitiveness, we've talked about that, but look at how good he was late in games. Since 2023, he's got 8 fourth-quarter comebacks. That's the most. And 9 game-winning drives. That's tied for the most with Patrick Mahomes. He's played some of his best football late in games when it matters the most.
He's got a lot of wins since he's taken over as a starter in Seattle a couple years back. But the one thing that I say is what you see is the experience that I think that this team needs. A guy, a signal caller that everyone believes in and trusts, and this organization trusts him, especially with the extension they gave him.
Yeah, there's been so much turnover at that position. The Raiders started 3 different quarterbacks last year. That's got to change.
5 different quarterbacks the last 2 years. Miller gets outside on the run, delivers a strike. It's caught down to the 11-yard line. That is Tyrone Broden, rookie out of Arkansas, 6'5". It goes for 15 yards.
And that's what Jalen Milroe has done so well over the course of his career in college. He loves to throw the ball on the move. Dual threat when he gets outside the pocket.
And you got some big, fast, young receivers here in Seattle with a whole new receiving crew. Torrey Horton, Tyrone Broden, guys who are trying to make their impact. Again, they get outside. It's Jacardier Wright out of bounds at the 2.
There's another missed tackle.
It's just angles. The angle.
It's A.T. Woods.
They're going to have this on practice. The next time the Raiders go on practice, it's about the angle coming from outside in. It's going to be on the right side. You got to go from the outside in. Do not let the runner be able to get to the outside. Have an angle to where all he can do is cut back to the inside.
It's a little bit late getting downhill. Once you see it, you got to come down with a purpose.
Bring your pads.
First down and goal. Raiders trying to make a stand. Jacardier right foot in the ground. Touchdown. He planted and switched directions. And the rookie out of Missouri State puts Seattle back up by 2 scores.
He's just feeling himself around. Wright just goes in, and initially he's kind of stopped, but he just kind of finds where's the opening? And nobody there to bring him down.
Well, Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet, the two guys expected to be the running backs here in Seattle, but Kenneth Walker's been dealing with a foot injury. He's had trouble staying healthy the first couple years. When he is healthy, he's a touchdown machine, but they're trying to find their other guys. Seahawks back up by 10 after a 65-yard drive. There is a flag down, though, on that extra point. So we will keep it right here to find out what that hanky's all about.
Yeah, you mentioned Charbonnet and Walker. You know, both guys didn't have the production that Seattle wanted in the run game. You know, both those guys less than 600 yards rushing. So there's still a competition at trying to find who's going to be the lead back for the Seahawks.
We got away from running the ball last year. It's a big reason why I think they made a change of their offensive coordinator.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I don't think Mike McDonald was all that crazy about the fact that they threw it way too much a season ago, especially when you have two good backs.
Well, they're still trying to sort out what this penalty is. Clete Blakeman is talking with Mike McDonald. Now, I wonder if it's on the Raiders that Mike McDonald may have an opportunity here to go for 2 instead of take the 1 point. So they're still talking, and I'm being told we're going to commercial. So we will do that. Time for our Rookie Spotlight, brought to you by Allegiant, the official airline of the Raiders. Low fares, nonstop flights only at Allegiant.com. Tonka Hemingway, 4th-round pick out of South Carolina. A couple of batted balls, a couple of pressures, and a defensive line that's trying to find its rotation. He had a couple of big plays tonight.
Yeah, making plays early on. And that's what you want to see from Tonka Hemingway. J.J. Pegues. A lot of guys who are young players who are trying to find their spot in the rotation opposite Adam Butler. Christian Wilkins no longer here, so there's an opportunity for a lot of guys to play along this defensive line.
Well, the conversation about the penalty when we went to break was an unsportsmanlike conduct against the Raiders. Mike McDonald elected to take it on the kickoff. So Jason Myers will kick it off from the 50 instead of the 35.
This is interesting. You know, you think you would dribble it, but you've got a line of...
Well, but remember, Rich, you have to, if it lands...
Oh, I understand
right,
that,
the kickoff, the dynamic kickoff, if it lands before the 20, it comes out to the 40.
Right, but he could drill this thing and land it. Well, I'd keep it in the end zone. Yep. These guys, honestly, it's like hitting sandwiches. These guys should be able to drop the ball inside the 5-yard line. Look at, there's a special teams coordinator out in the field talking to him.
Well, so they did that. It'll come out to the 35, and we will see Cam Miller for the first time in a Raiders uniform. 6th-round pick, number 215 overall out of North Dakota State. 5 years, 56 starts, won 2 titles for the Bison. Nearly 12,000 career passing yards, and he can certainly move in the pocket.
Yeah, I like the fact that he played in 67 games, as you mentioned, Jason. 56 starts, 45-11 as a starter.
And he hands it out to his Dylan Laube, who breaks it outside. Laube, who had a touchdown receiving, takes it inside the 40 on a 26-yard run.
I love the way that Laube lets this thing just develop. He gets to the inside, let the defense commit itself, and then breaks to the outside. That's how you want to see this running game. That's just what we envisioned for Ashton Jeanty, but
really good patience, and then you're going to see him. And again, there's another example of the defense not being disciplined with their eyes and their rush lanes and setting that edge. Great job by Laube bouncing it.
Longest run by far tonight by the Raiders. Cam Miller with a man in his face. Sidearms to Tommy Mellott. And he's brought down behind the line of scrimmage. Tommy Mellott, also quarterback on the FCS level. They played each other in the championship twice. He at Montana State, Cam Miller at North Dakota State. But Mellott has been transitioned to a receiver since coming to the Raiders.
Yeah, began his college career playing wide receiver and on special teams. I always say it's a very difficult transition going from, quarterback to wide receiver, especially at this level.
They were picked 2 picks away from each other. Collier bounces off of one, and he's pushed for a first down. Antonio Maffei gave him the extra shove for about 6 yards.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm excited or it was just Pete Carroll, because Pete Carroll's over there throwing out first downs. When you got the head coach excited about the running game, and this is what he wanted to see, this rushing attack. You got nice blocks, double team, and then Collier being his own blocker, making guys feel him at the end of that run.
Yeah, they're the kind of runs you need, the explosive, physical, downhill runs that really set the tone for an offense.
Elliott gets it again with explosion. Needs another flag thrown.
See Chip Kelly coming back with a very similar call. Good coordinators aren't afraid to repeat calls.
But what are you seeing, though? It's
holding offense number 56. The 10-yard penalty. Replay down.
Now that is on Mafi.
In the first half, it was more of the stretch runs. In the second half, we've seen more downhill runs, which to me, I think suits better to these running backs. Look, you got to do the zone schemes because it's going to help out the overall offense. But, man, getting these running backs downhill, McCormick, Blaube, Collier, they just want to run through guys.
The penalties are too many penalties tonight for the Raiders.
Now 8 penalties for 70 yards. Miller back to the air. Colin Johnson too high. And there's a flag down as well. So another conversation. It looks like the Seahawks are going to decline.
Illegal formation, offense. The tight end was covered. 5-yard penalty, replay first down.
Seahawks are not going to decline. It looked like it was Albert Okwuegbunam who was covered up. So down and distance, 1st and 24 for Cam Miller. With the pump and the throw. He's got a man open. Touchdown Raiders. Cedric Jackson got behind the defense and they put it in from 41 yards away.
Got him on a double move. A little slant and go. Well done by Jackson. Top of your screen, a little slant and go. Look at the corner. He gets beat inside. He's peeking. He's got his eyes in the backfield. That's a great job.
I love the throw
by Cam Miller.
Look at the throw in between the corner and the safety. He's got to put it on him, and he did it. That's a nice throw from the young. And we talked about it with Geno Smith the other day. What did you see from Cam Miller? He says, look, we put the pads on, and you can see the confidence in young Cam Miller, practice by practice, and that was a terrific throw for a touchdown.
Carlson's extra point is good, and we're back to a field goal game. Midway point of the 4th quarter, Cedric Jackson with a great throw from Cam Miller and a 41-yard touchdown here in Seattle. Now Cam Miller congratulated by Aiden O'Connell and everyone else on the sideline after he just threw his first professional touchdown pass. And Daniel Carlson does bounce it at the 20. That is a live football. It's touchdown inside the 5, and Damian Martinez is down inside the 10. It was Dylan Laube down on special teams to make the tackle.
Yeah, look at all the white jerseys right there in front, making a play. Dylan Laube, we saw him with the big run on the last drive, and now paying it off on special teams.
I mean, you talked about, Rich, you wanted it to be perfect. The ball has to land inside the 20. That landed on the 19 and 3/4
I think you're going to
line.
see, I'm telling you, once the season starts, I think you're going to see these kickers really trying to drill the ball lower and down outside the numbers.
Those passes caught by Lane. Cody Lindenberg, 7th-round pick out of Minnesota, making the tackle. 2-time first-team All-Big Ten.
Gopher. Had a lot of plays in the Big Ten the last couple seasons.
38 career games with Minnesota, led them in tackles last year. And they're trying to find players here in the second half that stand out and make big-time plays. Dylan Laube stood out a little bit here in the second half for the Raiders.
You know, with guys with just 3 preseason games, every rep matters. And I'm telling you, you're trying to make the team. You want to be out in the field. You want to be covering a kick. If you just looked at Laube there, I mean, the more you can do to make the roster, and you got to sell yourself to the special teams coordinator. He's got to be lobbying for you when they get ready for the cut down. They say, hey, these are 5 or 6 guys I have to have. These are guys that are going to play in the kicking game in a number of different areas. And that's why every opportunity you get in the preseason, if you're a young player, it absolutely matters. Trying to make this team.
Milrow 2nd and 9, another flag. Lee Vance is out there. Made the initial hit on Ricky White III, the former UNLV star. Ricky White, a 7th-round pick of Seattle this season. Now, both coaching staffs are probably going to talk about penalties the next 48 hours.
But you get into this point in the game, a lot of illegal formations. Guys not lining up, tight ends are being covered, wide receivers not on the ball or off the ball.
I think that's one right here. They're going to talk about the pre-snap penalties, and also the tackling.
Yes.
I mean, the tackling has not been up to the standard. Pete Carroll's defenses historically have been some of the best tackling defenses in the league.
Pete wants to back them up.
Illegal formation on the offense. 5-yard penalty, just like 2nd down. But the tackle was covered up.
The one thing that you could always say is that these are things that can be fixed. Like, these are problems that, hey, look, guys, we just got to tackle better. We got to line up, do things correct. This is all procedural things that can be fixed. You're getting your first taste of tackling for the first time all training camp. So there'll be a big improvement from preseason week 1 to preseason week 2.
And this is a spot here for the defense. Seattle's been whistled 9 penalties for 78 yards. Raiders 9 penalties, 75 yards. And the defense make a play in the end zone. Milrow kept it himself, and he got outside, and he got a block, and another, and Jalen Milrow out across the 30, but there is another flag down inside the 10.
And they're going to get holding. I think it was Trey Taylor. He's going to be the strong safety. He was there to force it in, and I think that's where the hold occurred.
Good use of hands to the face, defense. Number 37. Coming to add to the run, 1st down Seattle.
Well, it is on Trey Taylor, but
I thought they were going to call the hold on him, but he's getting grabbed. You saw that right there on the shoulder pad.
But he's also got the hand up around the face mask.
This should have been offsetting penalties. You got one side grabbing, the other side hands to the face. But Jalen Milrow showing off the speed, the ability.
Well, and remember, Seattle is now Sam Darnold's team. He did not play tonight. Drew Lock played most of this ball game, or at least all the first half. The pitch and Sam Webb making the tackle. But what Jalen Milrow and what Seattle may think about doing for him is very different than what Sam Darnold's skill set is.
And that's what you think right now when you look at Seattle. Is there a package of plays, Rich, for Jalen Milrow throughout the season? Because he can do some things that Sam Darnold can't do. Defenses have to look at Jalen Milrow in the game, and we've got to do some things defensively when he comes into the football game.
He's a talented player. He's an excellent runner.
And takes off again. Tank Booker giving chase. And that tackle is out of bounds. The entire Seahawks bench wants a flag, none thrown.
And there shouldn't be. He's a runner. This is what happens when you get a running quarterback. He becomes a runner, but as soon as you put hands on him, Rich, everybody's, oh, throw the flag.
Yeah, he's a different guy. You can just see he's not like your...
He gets out of that pocket. He's a running back.
He's not like most quarterbacks. He's not looking to avoid the hit.
And by the way, remember, if they had thrown for a hit out of bounds, replay assist, that is one of the things they can overturn. He did not throw the flag. Lindenberg tackled him inbounds. 3rd down and 1. Try the middle of the defense. It is close. I think he's short.
Yeah, I don't think he got it.
Michael Barrett came up and made the tackle.
Both officials have him about a foot and a half short. It's going to be 4th down.
Look at Jamal Adams bouncing around, trying to get his teammates to get a 4th down stop.
scraping downhill. That was a combination of Hudson Clark and Bennett.
4:20 to go. Seahawks leading by 3. Milrose in the shotgun on 4th and inches. They're getting him outside. He throws down the field behind his receiver, and the Raiders defense gets a 4th down stop.
You know, it means something to these guys. Jamal Adams, it means something to him.
There's no question. Now the offense here in the second half has hummed a lot more with Chip Kelly than it did in the first half. Raiders get the ball at the Seahawks 45. And, last year, offensive coordinator at Ohio State, wins the national championship, long college career, successful career with the Eagles, and a lot of excitement about what this offense is going to look like.
He brings a wealth of experience to the coaching staff and the offensive meeting world. 35 years in college and the NFL. He's done it all. Been a position coach, a coordinator, a head coach with the Eagles and 49ers, Oregon, UCLA. Most recently, as you said, Jason, won a national championship, the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Cam Miller hands it off to Chris Collier. Raiders have all of their timeouts. 4 minutes to work with. Cam Miller getting to work this 4th quarter.
But I feel like when you think Chip Kelly, always offense. Remember when he first came to the National Football League, it was about plays.
Tempo.
And it didn't necessarily work out at first, but to see the way that he's adjusted his system, his scheme, and the way that the players, whether the college level or now the NFL level, this is a different Chip Kelly than we saw in his first couple stints in the NFL.
Yeah, I think it's his ability to adapt his system to fit the skill set of the players that he has at his fingertips. I watched all those games last year for the Buckeyes because his colleague, the defensive coordinator, Jim Knowles, who's now at Penn State, was my high school teammate. The Buckeyes averaged 7 yards per play on offense. 7 yards! And they were second down in the red zone. And this guy did it, and he had a bunch of talented players, but he did a great job getting everybody involved in that offense.
By the way, Geno Smith's cousin, Jeremiah, might be the best receiver in college. He's going to be a sophomore at Ohio State. 3rd down, Dylan Laube. He is close to the first down, maybe a half-yard shy. He has put on some good tape here in the second half.
Yeah, competition breeds excitement for Dylan Laube. He realizes, look, I'm in a crowded running back room, and I need opportunities, and this is a 4th down opportunity. If they hand it off to him, can he get the big yard?
They're going to run the same play. Watch.
They want to go fast.
Same play.
No, Cam Miller kept it, and he does have the first down.
Well, they faked it. We've got a quarterback that's got some wheels.
Yeah, Rich, 48 career rushing touchdowns in all those starts at North Dakota State, 56 to go with his 81 touchdown passes.
The Walter Payton Award runner-up in the FCS. Remember, he lost out on the award, the Walter Payton Award, to his teammate now, Tommy Mellott.
Yeah, that's right, and that brings us to the 2-minute warning. So, Cam Miller has thrown a 41-yard touchdown pass in this quarter. Can he put the Raiders in the end zone to have a second-half comeback victory? We'll find out on the other side. 2-minute warning, opening night of the first full weekend of preseason football. Raiders trailed the Seahawks 16-3. But with 2 minutes to go and a fresh set of downs on the Seattle 32, Cam Miller and company with an opportunity to take that 2.5-hour flight back to Vegas with a victory.
Yeah, the offense has looked a lot better here in the second half. What did Bill Parcells used to say, Jason? This is why you run all those gassers. This is why you lift all those weights. It's important. You got to love football, and you want to have guys on your team that love it as well.
If we keep score, Rich, I want to win.
That's it.
If we're going to keep score, I want to win.
And what's the sign above the Raiders facility?
Just win, baby.
Well, there's that. And now, to your point, are we competing? Then we might as well win at it. Give to Collier, and he's stacked up at the line of scrimmage and driven backwards. J.R. Singleton, a rookie out of Iowa State, undrafted free agent with the stop. Now the Raiders do have all 3 timeouts. We'll see what type of pace they go with here, but those timeouts don't make it as much urgency. Kawan Baker, Ketron Jackson, the receivers, along with Justin Shorter. Miller's going to throw. And he's sacked at the 40-yard line. O'Toole got him. He's been in the backfield all night. That's a loss of 9, and the Raiders take their first timeout.
Parker Clements, the left tackle, is going to get beat around the edge.
First timeout. This will be a 30-second timeout.
We just watch right here, and this is they'll do a little bit better job here. Good initial contact, then he just loses his feet and his balance. That's just too easy for Connor O'Toole.
So 3rd down and 17. Yes, the Raiders trail by a field goal, so you can tie the game. But there's no overtime here in the preseason. They come with a blitz. Miller gets out of the pocket. He's got Runyon on the edge, and he is out of bounds with 1:16 to go. And a 4th and very long coming up.
They kick a field goal here.
Yeah, they are going to kick the field goal. Carlson tonight is 2 of 3. He is hit from 27. He is hit from 56. He missed at the end of the second quarter from 55. And this will be from 51 to tie the game late here in the 4th.
Good snap, good hold, and good kick.
And we are tied.
That's a weapon. That's something in your back pocket. Nice job by Cam Miller, though, getting enough yards on 3rd down. I mean, we go back to the 3rd down play. You're not trying to get the touchdown or to get it all in one time. You just want to get enough yards to give Daniel Carson an opportunity. That's big for me, that a young quarterback understands that his rookie year to get enough to tie the ball game. Everybody, they're going on a game-winning drive. You know what? No. If it's not there, take what the defense gives you. You got a field goal to tie this game up.
And we talked about this a couple of years ago when Aiden O'Connell came in as a rookie. Older rookie, right? He had been to Purdue a long time. Cam Miller's 24 years old. Right, the COVID year, extra year of eligibility for all college players, which is now coming to an end.
Comes to finally.
Yeah, but you get older guys who have had a lot of football when they come into the league.
And he played in a lot of big games. I know the FCS. He won a couple of national championships. He played in 67 games with 56 starts. And when you're drafting a quarterback, you want a kid that has been exposed, that has experience, that's played in a lot of big games, important games. And if you played for the North Dakota State Bison, you're playing important games.
That's right. The dynasty of the FCS.
There's a really good kick.
Yeah, at the 1-yard line, so you got to bring it out. And another solid tackle in special teams at the 21-yard line. Colin Johnson down there to make the stop.
I think you're going to see some of that. You're going to see some of these little pooch kicks where they just put a lot of air on it, so that you can get some coverage. You drop it inside the 5.
Well, Pete Carroll started the night with a lot of energy. He is finishing the night with a lot of energy. He will get on the plane with a lot of energy, and he will wake up with a lot of energy tomorrow.
What piece of bubble gum is this, you think? 31, 25? He's been through some packs of bubble gum today.
So let's see if the defense get a stop. We got a 4th down stop on the last drive to set up that opportunity for Cam Miller. Milroe waved. Well, it looked like he was over the head of his intended receiver, but it was caught. Ricky White III made the grab on a 1st down.
It's a nice throw from Milroe. Set his feet.
Now, one of the things the Raiders have not done a ton tonight is he throws that out of bounds, got out of the pocket. John Joyner is given some pressure. Raiders have not gotten a lot of pressure tonight.
Right. And that's going to be something that I think that they'll continue to keep looking at. Look, we only saw Max Crosby for a series. Malcolm Coates for a series. And those are the guys you're going to rely on the most. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Raiders may look to try to even make another move to bring in another situational pass rush guy to add to this group.
They have to be able to create more negative plays. Just 13 takeaways last year. Only 3 teams had fewer.
They roll to the outside, and they cannot bring it in. Opportunity for a one-handed grab by Tyrone Broden, but it'll be 3rd and 10.
Yeah, it's a huge incompletion because the Raiders still with 2 timeouts. They get a stop here, call timeout. They still got an opportunity.
Get the football back and give Cam Miller one more shot at it.
Well, give Daniel Carlson's range. You won't need too much.
Raiders bring just 4. Miller's got pressure in his face.
Oh, yeah.
And he's sacked! Trevin Ma'ai, who had the blocked extra point, gets the sack. And the Raiders call the timeout with 35 seconds left.
Man, he saved his best rush when the team needed it most. Watch Ma'ai on the inside. He's just going to all you see is just effort. This is an effort rush. Just gets up the middle and he's blocked, twists in the inside, and comes to the outside, and just boom. That's just effort. Well, this is an effort rush.
Well, and again, the experience. 4 years at Oregon, the last 2 years at Baylor. Ryan, you were talking about this, Kirk, too. How cool it must be for former Pro Bowler, all-pro guys on the sideline going after these rookies, just pumping them up late in the game.
Look, I go back to my rookie year, and I'm out there playing in the 3rd and 4th quarter, and you see Warren Sapp and Charles Woodson over there cheering you on. It does something for a young player.
With a big return here, you got a chance, you got a big return.
Well, that'll be another opportunity for a play. He's got some space. And he takes it out to the 32-yard line. Marshall Lang, after a 52-yard punt and an 8-yard return, made the tackle. So, 25 seconds to go. Raiders and Cam Miller take over. And Daniel Carlson has hit from 56 tonight. His career long is 57. Need to get
about the 40.
Yep, about 25, 26 yards to give him a shot. And 1 timeout remaining.
You can do it. If it's not there early, throw it away.
Cam Miller here in the 4th quarter has been impressive. He's 3 of 3, 45 yards and a touchdown. That's caught by Runyon. He's still inbounds. And Pete Carroll does use that final timeout. With 17 seconds to go.
Had you not used it, you would have burned 6 or 7 more seconds just getting everybody back to the line of scrimmage. There's different ways to stop the clock. Defensive penalty, an incompletion, clocking the ball, getting out of bounds.
I love seeing Geno Smith in the huddle right now. This is a critical situation. And you've got your starting quarterback out there helping the rookie. Like, this is the leadership things that we talk about with this Raiders club. And you've got guys that are all bought in. Everybody's a part of this.
Well, and we saw that at the end of the 2nd quarter, too. Raiders were getting the ball back with a 2-minute drill right before halftime. He was in there with Aiden O'Connell and company.
This great. He's helping the rookie quarterback. That's leadership.
That's leadership, man. That's top notch. That's why you bring in guys like Geno Smith.
The game clock reset to 20. They added 3 seconds. Raiders out of timeouts. Miller the shot down the field. Cedric Jackson. And he gets out of bounds at the 41.
Oh, what a great throw by the young quarterback. And a nice job by Jackson working back down the boundary.
It's a pickup of 20. Still 14 seconds and a timeout taken, Seattle.
Yeah, I'd love to see how Pete handles this. Because now we're playing the clock game. You're already in Daniel Carlson's field goal range. You got 14 seconds left. What type of play are you running? Or do you just run a play and have your quarterback, Cam Miller, throw the ball out of bounds?
Well,
you know what I mean? Just to run some clock. So that'll be the last play for the kid.
This is a 58-yard field goal. You'd love to pick up 5 or 6 yards and a little quick throw to the boundary. But again, with the timeout situation, no timeouts. If this ball is completed in the field of play, it would almost be impossible
to run everybody out.
To run that field goal unit on there. So This is a great opportunity for the young quarterback. He's been told what he has to do in this situation.
By the way, Shedrick Jackson's a guy who was an undrafted free agent with Cincinnati 2 years ago, but he is a 4.31 combine speed guy. He's the one who had the 41-yard touchdown earlier in the quarter from Cam Miller. And so he has certainly come up with some huge plays here for the Raiders offense. 14 seconds out of the Seattle timeout for Cam Miller, the rookie out of North Dakota State. Throws outside. He's got Shedrick Jackson. He gets out of bounds, and they pick up the 6 yards.
Nice. Well done.
Little rub route over here on that side.
Little rub route, pick play, whatever you want to call it.
Little pick play. The former defensive guys are saying, "Oh, that's offensive pass interference," but you just love it. We'll see how he sold it. Forced the defender to have to go over the top. That's a nice job by the outside receiver, bringing that route to the inside.
So now down to 9 seconds left. From here, it would be a 55-yard field goal.
Same play.
And Miller throws it out of bounds.
And that's a good decision. If you throw that one on the back shoulder and he gets tackled in bounds, the game's over.
I thought they would do that the play before, but they were aggressive to get 4 or 5 extra yards. Now you throw it away, and now you've got an opportunity for a game-winning field goal from Daniel Carroll.
So just look at the Raiders sideline. You got Max Crosby, you got Jamal Adams, you got Geno Smith, you got a bunch of veterans. No one's sitting on the bench. Everybody's cheering on these young players. Great to see.
So Daniel Carlson is 3 for 4 tonight. He is hit from 50-plus twice. 55 yards to win it here in Seattle. And it's blocked.
Oh, somebody up the middle. Somebody got it up the middle.
So the field goal is blocked. Remember, there is no overtime in preseason. And so for the second straight year, the Raiders will end in overtime, or they'll end the preseason game in a tie.
How about that, man? All that work, and it comes down to an opportunity.
Jalen Gaines got it.
A tie.
Hey, listen, Pete Carroll has talked about competing since day one. I mean, those guys were into it the entire second half without seeing a snap.
Not sure what was said at halftime in terms of inside of that locker room, but it was a much different second half for everybody. The intensity picked up, the play picked up, and maybe it just took them a half to get going.
Raiders trailed 13-3. 16-3 in this game. It was 16-3 at the half. Came back out. Aiden O'Connell had a touchdown drive. Threw one to Dylan Lowby, and then Cam Miller in the fourth quarter was impressive.
They got to get off the better starts, guys. Right. You saw last year, slow starts were a problem season ago. They trailed by double digits in each of their first 14 games. Talk about getting off to good starts, and I know it's preseason football, but that has to be a point of emphasis once those starters get extended reps.
Getting some conversations with the Seahawks, who did not play their starters tonight. Aiden O'Connell did throw a touchdown after his 2 first-half interceptions, but our connection to the game brought to you by Allegiant, the official airline of the Raiders. Low fares, nonstop flights only at Allegiant.com. It's Cam Miller on a 41-yard touchdown pass to Shedrick Jackson.
Definitely my play of the game. Just seeing Cam Miller come in and make some plays. That's your third-string quarterback, your rookie. Definitely was one of the highlights of this game for the Raiders.
I love the competitiveness. I love the fight in this football team. They came out in the second half, Jason. Better energy, with a real purpose to put together some really good drives, some good plays defensively. I think this is certainly something to build on headed into next week.
Again, the Raiders starters did play tonight. Again, most for just a drive, maybe 2. Geno Smith had 5 plays, 2 throws. Aiden O'Connell got most of the first 3 quarters. Then Cam Miller came in. And again, Aiden O'Connell's best half was much better in the third quarter.
Yeah, he got into a rhythm. Receivers started to help him out a little bit. My whole thing is this week, there's things that you can correct. You go into the meeting room tomorrow, you're going to watch the film. You're going to correct some of these pre-snap penalties, the illegal formations, all of that stuff. Get better at tackling. I think we'll see a much better effort come next week against the 49ers.
Stop the run as well. That was certainly a problem when the Seahawks had their second-team offensive line, Raiders first and second-team defense. So that'll be something they'll work on next week against the 49ers. But the season's off and running. This new era of Raiders football is off and running. And it ends in a tie. Pete Carroll and Geno Smith make their way back home, and they get the first game under their belt. Raiders come to Seattle and tie the Seahawks 23 apiece. We'll be back with you next Saturday from Allegiant Stadium at 1 against the 49ers. For Kirk Morrison, Rich Gannon, I'm Jason Horwitz. We'll talk to you next week from Las Vegas. Take care, folks.